further. WSB's Jonathan O'Brien has details.
Yeah, Sabrina, that decision follows a thorough review of the facts, according to Pete Skandalakis, executive director of the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia. In a 22-page filing, he lays out all of the reasons the case against the president and his co-defendants is being dismissed. He says that the citizens of Georgia would not be served by pursuing this case in full for another 5 to 10 years. He acknowledges that this decision will divide opinions, but he says that his assessment of this case, quote, has been guided solely by the evidence, the law, and principles of justice. Just off the phone now with WSB senior legal analyst Ron Carlson, who says he's not surprised by the decision.
I thought the executive director would give it a thorough and sifting review and then do what occurred here.
And he says he does believe, based on this full filing, that it was a thorough review. And Trump attorney Steve Sadow, of course, praising the decision to dismiss the case, calling it a political persecution and lawfare, and adding that the case should have never been brought. Reporting live, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. So your weather for today, sunny skies, breezy, cooler air is moving in, highs around 65. Some of those winds could be gusting up to 25 miles an hour, but really cold weather is pushing in. We'll tell you when and just how cold it's going to get when we have Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast. That comes your way at 12:05. All right, we do have a traffic red alert as you're trying to get out of town. This is not good news, so we want to go now to Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. This is in Henry County. Where exactly and what happened?
Yeah, that's right, Sabrina. It's just south of McDonough in Locust Grove, 75 northbound. DOT tells me it's an overturned truck crash. All lanes are shut down. The crash is just north of Bill Gardner Parkway, exit number 212, but traffic's being diverted off about 11 miles, 10 miles before that on 75 north at Highway 16. That's where you're going to be forced off. You can use Highway 42, Highway 155 as an alternate. 75 always clogged up with holiday travel, so need everybody to avoid this one. Sabrina?
All right, thank you very much. And millions of Americans are traveling this holiday and this day before Thanksgiving. If you're hitting the road today, it could get messy.
Wednesday afternoon is particularly busy as you get commuters mixing with those who are going to their destination.
That is AAA's Robert Sinclair. He expects a record number with at least 73 million people traveling by car. That's accounting for about 90% of all Thanksgiving travelers. And many of the estimated 8 million holiday flyers hope that a strong storm system does not derail their plans. Today, a winter storm is hitting the upper Midwest with blizzard warnings already in effect. Keep it here. We'll keep you updated locally on what's happening. This is new at noon. A passenger on a flight leaving Hartsfield-Jackson is arrested after opening an emergency exit.
Atlanta police respond to a KLM flight bound for Amsterdam Tuesday after a man makes a 911 call in a panic to report a possible weapon on board the flight. He then opened the emergency exit door, causing the inflatable slide to deploy as the plane was taxiing. Flight 622 returns to the gate, and police take Johannes Van Heertem into custody. He appeared to be experiencing a mental health episode. He's charged with reckless conduct, criminal damage to property, and interfering with security measures. Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Eyes in the sky and on the ground, helping Brookhaven police arrest an armed man wanted for numerous felonies.
Brookhaven police used its Operation Plugged-In camera network to track down a man wanted in a domestic disturbance at a Buford Highway restaurant. Police received a detailed description of the suspect, who was quickly located walking along Buford Highway. Drones helped in the surveillance, but it was a K-9 officer, CODA, who found 22-year-old Antonio Dwayne Bailey of Atlanta trying to hide under leaves in a creek bed. Also found a handgun and what appeared to be a bag of marijuana. Bailey faces a number of charges in DeKalb, as well as 3 outstanding warrants from Clayton County. Lisa Nicholas, 95.5 WSB.
Restaurants are seeing a spike in reservations for Thanksgiving.
Open Table reports Thanksgiving restaurant reservations are up 13% from last year. The rise comes as grocery prices continue to climb. Still, a holiday meal likely won't be cheaper at a restaurant, since the Bureau of Labor Statistics says restaurant prices are increasing faster than groceries and overall inflation. However, the American Farm Bureau notes the cost of preparing Thanksgiving dinner for 10 dropped for the third year in a row, averaging $5.52 a person. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
All right, if you decided to cook and you're panicking a little bit over that feast, the Butterball Hotline is up and running now.
The phone lines are staffed with volunteers who know the ins and outs of all things turkey and can talk you through just about any crisis, from forgetting to thaw your bird, there's a workaround, how to test the temperature, no, you can't use a fever thermometer, and how to create a bikini tan line on the bird. You do that with foil before roasting.
Bree Tennis says you can reach the talk line at 1-800-BUTTERBALL, and they are open through December 24th. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. So let's go back to the WSB 24-hour traffic center and Alex Williams.
Yeah, Sabrina's still watching the red alert down here in Henry County. 75 northbound shut down north of Bill Gardner Parkway, exit 212. Traffic being diverted off at Highway 16, exit 205, back down in the Jackson area, Griffin area as well. Highway 42, Highway 155, your alternates to get around that. If you're traveling into downtown Midtown, seeing some brake lights, 85 south from Georgia 400, continuing 75, 85 south down toward North Avenue. Northbound tap in the brake pedal, University Avenue to Freedom Parkway. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Time now for Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast, sponsored by Shoemate, the official plumber of Atlanta.
Sunny skies and breezy through this afternoon, high 65. The northwest wind gusting 25 miles per hour, transporting in that freezing cold air. We'll definitely feel the difference early tomorrow morning with lows in the mid-30s. Staying chilly tomorrow afternoon, mostly sunny, high 49. Freezing cold on Friday morning with lows in the upper 20s to low 30s, and staying chilly Friday afternoon, high 47. Partly cloudy on Saturday, morning lows in the 30s, highs in the low 50s. Rain showers return on Sunday with highs in the mid-50s.
We have 63 degrees here in Midtown Atlanta. More news at 12:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Today on The Eric Erickson Show, he's a 40-year broadcaster, Marconi Award winner, and always in search of the perfect cup of coffee. Filling in for Eric today, Dan Mandis.
And good afternoon to you. Hope you are doing well. It is always a pleasure to fill in for the mighty Eric Erickson, and happy Thanksgiving to you. We do have some breaking news. Headline from CNN, the new prosecutor here in Georgia will not pursue charges against Donald Trump and others in the Georgia election interference case. This is amazing. Listen to this. This is part of CNN's coverage.
This is CNN breaking news.
We are following breaking news just into CNN. A Georgia prosecutor officially dropped the historic racketeering case against President Trump and others for attempting to overturn the 2020 presidential election. I want to go right to CNN's Kara Scannell. What are you learning, Kara?
Who didn't see this coming? I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been hosting talk shows for years and years and years. I totally saw this coming. You know, when we talk about Trump derangement syndrome, and by the way, this is going to cost the state of Georgia millions and millions of dollars, more than have already been spent on this case against Donald Trump that has now been dropped. So, yeah, I did see this coming. Do you know how many times, how many careers have completely flatlined because of Trump derangement syndrome? Now, you know this case, right? This is the case, of course, out of Georgia. And Donald Trump has that now infamous call with Brad Raffensperger, the 2020 election, right? We all remember that. And he was short 11,000 votes in Georgia. And he was trying to figure out how in the heck he fell short.
So what are we going to do here, folks? I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
Yeah, that was the big quote that everybody was talking about. 11,000 votes. He was basically telling Raffensperger that they needed to find him 11,000 votes so the 2020 election could be overturned. And a lot of people, can I just tell you, because I've been following this, obviously since 2020. And so as you look at all of the coverage from that moment on, you had all of these experts, and as this story has broken, I went back and I'm looking for audio and all this kind of thing, and you had all of these very important sounding experts on CNN and MSNBC and CBS and ABC and so on and so forth, and they had all of these, very dour voices, and they're talking about, Donald Trump, he was trying to overthrow the election, he could spend years in jail, and, basically convicting Donald Trump before he had even had his day in court. And I've listened to the entire call with Donald Trump and Raffensperger and others involved. It's been a minute. But I remember listening to that call and thinking, what in the world is the big deal? And they're going to bring him up on RICO charges? Well, not anymore. This is a major victory for Donald Trump. You want to talk about a Thanksgiving for Donald Trump. You want to talk about something to be thankful for. The president, there's a couple of things that is going to happen here. Number one, Donald Trump is going to get to gloat, right? I mean, obviously, because he has said all along, I did nothing wrong. I was not trying to talk these guys into making up votes or just concocting votes out of thin air. No. He's trying to say, Donald Trump was trying to say that there are irregularities and we're trying to figure it out because he could not understand how he lost the state of Georgia in 2020. But you listen to the audio and you listen to the phone call, and I know exactly what President Trump was trying to do. And it all made perfect sense to me.
So what are we going to do here, folks? I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
You think Fani Willis is really upset right now? I mean, remember Fani Willis, right? Oh, she has got to be ticked off, PO'd to no end. I hope Nathan Wade's not around. He's going to get it. Because remember what happened. Fani Willis and others, right? They say that Trump was trying to overturn that 2020 election. They said that Donald Trump, a grave threat to democracy and all of that BS. Again, you had Fani Willis, you had all of these supposed legal experts, and everybody saying that Donald Trump tried to overthrow the election. Here comes Fani Willis with all of those RICO charges. And again, I listened to the entire phone call. Maybe you did as well. And for the life of me, I didn't see where Donald Trump did anything wrong. Well, now, again, these racketeering charges, this RICO case against Donald Trump has been dropped.
Yeah, this new filing in from the prosecutor who had taken the place to look into the Fulton County investigation of Donald Trump and others has filed a motion with the court saying that they are not going to move forward with the case. They're dropping the charges. What he filed what's known as a nolle pros, and that means that in theory, because if the statute of limitations hasn't run out, a case could be refiled. But he attached to his filing about a 20-page statement explaining his rationales for why he did not think that they should move forward with this case. You'll remember this was the case that began with Donald Trump making a call to the Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, urging him to find the votes. And then District Attorney Fani Willis brought this historic investigation and filed those racketeering charges against Donald Trump and dozens of others for interfering with the 2020 election.
Yeah, oh, Fani Willis. She had the backwards dress, that romantic relationship with Nathan Wade that basically got her kicked off the case. Remember that whole thing where the allegation was that she hired Wade to work on the case even though he wasn't necessarily the right guy for the job? They were seeing each other. And so this new prosecutor, just retracing, I know that most of you folks know what happened, but this new prosecutor was given the case, a guy by the name of Pete Skandalakis. And so old Pete was trying to figure out, they give him the case because they had to kick Fani Willis off the case. And Skandalakis is, walking around the court building or whatever, and he's like, all right, so I got to give this case to somebody. Who wants this massive file? And apparently they couldn't find anybody because everybody had conflicts or whatever. And so he's got this massive file. And he's looking through all of this. And I think that he looked at the case and he looked at the evidence and he looked at everything that had been done up to that point, and he realized, you know what? There's no there. There's nothing here. I've always thought, and perhaps you folks do as well, and I'm here to tell you, by the way, Eric Erickson is a brilliant talk show host. He is a brilliant constitutional attorney. So I'm trying to do the show justice. But what I'm telling you is this. I'm not an attorney. I don't play one on the radio. But I will tell you that I've heard enough attorneys talk about this to know that, number one, RICO charges certainly did not apply. That's number one. And number two, they were wrong to bring these cases in the first place. And I'm sorry if I sound like I'm gloating, but for the last 4 years, I've been listening to all of these legal eagles on the networks and on CNN and on MSNBC accusing Donald Trump of trying to overturn this election when he didn't. I understand why President Trump was upset. I understand all too well what happened in that phone call. But we're all just going to have a difference of opinion as to what happened in that phone call. But this Pete Skandalakis, this guy working in the prosecutor's office, citing its unprecedented nature and lengthy future timeline, said, you know what, we're done. And so now the county, or the state, whatever, has spent millions of dollars, I assume, on this case. Because remember, it's not only Donald Trump, it's a whole bunch of other people as well. You got Rudy Giuliani in there and a whole bunch of other folks, too. And now the case, a day before Thanksgiving, has been dropped. And Donald Trump is going to get to say, yep, I told you so.
And he summarized it in part by saying that he made this decision by examining the case file, examining what the jury had been presented, and also considerations of the law. He says that, contesting an election is not unlawful, but, and that is part of the reasons for why he decided not to move forward with the charges at this point. But again, this is a nolle pros filing, meaning that they're dropping the case right now. In theory, it could be revived if the statute of limitations doesn't run out. But of course, Donald Trump is still in office for another 3 years. Pam, this is the last of the criminal prosecutions that have been hanging over Donald Trump as he entered the White House. The only conviction that he faced out of the 4 indictments was the one in New York for the hush money payments, and that one he is appealing.
Do you know how many careers, either journalists or lawyers, prosecutors, how many careers have been destroyed by Trump derangement syndrome? I'll wait. I mean, certainly 2 just spring to mind, right? Fani Willis, who, in my opinion, as a non-attorney, but in my opinion, way overplayed her hand. And now she's out. Not to mention, of course, her own corruption, in my opinion. You got people like Jim Acosta, too. Again, Trump derangement syndrome, destroying careers, destroying credibility of whether we're talking about major news networks, again, attorneys, prosecutors, and so forth. Donald Trump's team, guy by the name of Steve Sadow, I'm not sure, Donald Trump's lead attorney in Georgia, called it the end of the political persecution of President Trump by disqualified DA Fani Willis, adding this case should never have been brought. A fair and impartial prosecutor has put an end to this lawfare. Now, do you know what's going to happen now? I'm just reading all of this. There's a Georgia law that Governor Kemp signed into law earlier this year that criminal defendants like Donald Trump can get reimbursed for legal fees if a prosecutor is disqualified or charges are dismissed. And so you're talking about not only Donald Trump, but all those others. If I remember right, there was a dozen. There was a dozen or so other defendants. And so now Donald Trump, you think he's not going to go after the Fulton County or the state of Georgia for all that money? Of course he is. And so this is going to cost millions of dollars. How much, I don't know. This is all just kind of breaking now. But I think this whole thing is absolutely fascinating. So, and by the way, this could ultimately come back. But, this Pete Skandalakis, it again, as I'm listening to all of this, it does sound like, he's walking around the office and he's asking, will you take this case? Or will you take that? Nobody wanted to take the case. We'll have to see where this whole thing goes. But for Donald Trump, most certainly a thankful Wednesday before Thanksgiving. My name is Dan Mandis, and for Eric Erickson, we'll return next.
If you're looking for a great present this holiday season, consider Vision Computers. They can build a computer for you, customize it the way you want, and then you get their fantastic world-class customer service for free. So the computer, whether it's for you or someone you love, for your business, Whoever gets it gets a phone number they can call, and in 15 seconds or less, faster than a Google search, get the answer to whatever they need for their computer. Call Vision Computer today at 404-COMPUTE or go to visioncomputers.com. If you tell them Eric sent you, you're going to save some money. They can also do managed IT for your company where you're actually dealing with real human beings. You're not dealing with bots, actual human beings. So you go to visioncomputers.com or 404-COMPUTE. You talk to real human beings to get your computer ordered. And then if you do managed IT, well, you talk to real human beings whenever you have a problem. They make it worth it. Visioncomputers.com or 404-COMPUTE. Tell them Eric sent you.
Well connected and well respected. It's Eric Erickson live every weekday.
1221 Cool Day Carrier Traffic Center. Red alert continues in Henry County. 75 northbound crash and just north of Bill Gardner Parkway. Exit 212 has all lanes shut down. Traffic diverted off at Highway 16, exit 205. Use Highway 42 or Highway 155 as alternates. Traffic brought to you by Georgia United Credit Union. Ready for a financial partner that puts you first? Discover the difference at Georgia United Credit Union. Visit gucu.org/join. Insured by NCUA. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This holiday could be 100 times brighter just by listening to 95.5 WSB.
Because we have the WSB Turkey Day Payday.
Listen to 95.5 WSB all Thanksgiving Day, every hour, 9 a.m. through 6 p.m. You could win a $100 Publix gift card.
Listen for the keyword each hour.
You'll have until the end of that hour to enter the keyword at WSBradio.com or on the WSB app. One lucky winner every hour gets a $100 Publix gift card.
The WSB Turkey Day Payday.
From Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Your first chance to win is tomorrow at 9 a.m. on 95.5 WSB.
Hey, it's Eric Erickson here. You've heard me talk about David Nicholas and the team at Nicholas Wealth Management, and I'll tell you what, I'm not just talking about them. I actually am a client. I've got an account with Nicholas Wealth Management. Look, retirement planning today isn't what it used to be. You got to deal with inflation, taxes, market volatility. You can't just hope things work out. You need a real plan. That's why I turned to David Nicholas. David's a weekly guest on Stuart Varney's show on Fox Business. He hosts a 1-hour show every week right here, Saturday at 6 p.m. He and his team focus on helping people get to what they call the sweet spot in retirement, where you have enough income to live comfortably, invest wisely, and enjoy the next chapter of life with confidence. Now, here's the thing. The earlier you start planning, I wish I knew this, the earlier you start planning, the better off you may be. So take the first step today. Call Nicholas Wealth Management. Schedule your free, no obligation retirement analysis. You'll sit down with an advisor with a fiduciary duty who puts your interests first, reviews your goals, and helps you build a clear plan for retirement, so you can focus on what matters most. Call 678-990-8500. That's 678-990-8500 or nicholaswealth.com. That's NICHOLAS wealth.com to schedule your free analysis today.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies. Eric Erickson is paid $450 a week for his testimonial. No endorsement of Nicholas Wealth Management from Fox or Stuart Varney is stated or implied.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. When you buy an engagement ring or fine jewelry gift from Shane Company, you get more than what you paid for. Our jewelry comes with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. It covers everything. There's no fine print. You'll get unlimited cleanings, resizings, and repairs. Plus, it even protects your engagement ring's center stone. We stand behind the quality of our jewelry, and that's our gift to you this holiday. Peace of mind. Because a friend knows the best things in life are free. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Have a stress-free Thanksgiving that's sure to impress. Hey, it's Mark Aram here for my friends at Publix. Just heat and serve a traditional feast that are going to leave your guests loving it. Includes a whole turkey, cooked, old-fashioned cornbread dressing, Yukon Gold mashed potatoes, cranberry orange relish, marshmallow delight, gravy. Serves 8 people, and the price for the meal, just $69.99. That's less than $10 per person. Amazing meal from my amazing friends at Publix.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner at A1 Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. Call A1 Garage Door Service, and you'll be smiling today.
A1Garage.com. A1 from day one.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
My name is Dan Mandis, in for Eric Erickson. Always a pleasure to fill in for the mighty Eric Erickson the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And we spent the first segment covering the breaking news about the RICO charges in Georgia being dropped against Donald Trump for trying to overthrow the election in 2020, which, if anybody of sound mind, I'm going to say this, anybody of sound mind who has been watching this whole thing play out and listened to the phone call, and I'm no attorney, but it did seem to me like the president did not do anything wrong. Obviously, the guy in charge of the case after Fani Willis got bumped, he understood all too well that these RICO charges really were drummed up charges. And I started thinking, in the middle of, and this is what happens during, if you're a talk show host, sometimes, you're talking and you're presenting audio, you're presenting a story, but somewhere in the other part of your mind, you're also thinking about other angles as you're presenting one angle. And I started thinking about all of those people who have lost careers, like Fani Willis, and I don't know if she's, going to be able to continue to practice law. I'm sure that she is, whatever. But I started thinking about all the people that have lost careers because of their Trump derangement syndrome. And I did mention it briefly in the previous segment, but you've got like Jim Acosta. You've got Don Lemon. I actually grokked it. I grokked it. Jim Acosta was not included in the Grok findings, but Jim Acosta, CNN, and he covered the White House during Donald Trump's first administration. Then he, of course, got promoted to, I guess, the anchor desk at CNN, and he just did a terrible job. And ultimately, I think part of what happened with Acosta was the ratings were so low because when you turn into a one-trick pony, which is what Jim Acosta ultimately turned into, then people get bored. And you're not fair and balanced, or if you're CNN, you're not a news person. You are a narrative peddler and an anti-Donald Trump narrative peddler as well. So it's one thing if you try to play it as straight as you can. Just it is journalism, period. But then there's other people that will look at anything and look at it through the prism of, or the context of, or the perception of Donald Trump, orange man bad, right? So that was Jim Acosta. Don Lemon is another one. He got bounced. Now, where is Don Lemon today? We're doing a video cast or a podcast, whatever it is. Brian Stelter is another one. It's almost like CNN is just littered with people who have lost everything because of their Trump derangement syndrome. Is Fani Willis now on that list? And then, of course, when you start talking about the people that celebrated not only the assassination attempt of Donald Trump, but also the assassination of Charlie Kirk, when will it ever end?
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 12:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Jim Ellis Automotive. The election interference case against President Trump and others is being dropped. Pete Skandalakis, the executive director of the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia, saying today that the case would neither serve the citizens of Georgia nor fulfill his statutory obligations. Aaron Kutersky has more on this story.
There were a handful of guilty pleas at the outset of this case. It appears those will stand, but others who were charged, Mark Meadows, for example, the former chief of staff to the president, they will no longer be charged.
All right, so your weather for today: sunny skies, breezy, cooler air moving in, highs around 65. Just how cold is it going to get? WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. We've been watching a red alert in Henry County on I-75. We'll check in with Alex Williams in just a moment, but millions of folks are hitting the highways this holiday weekend, and drivers are aware that there could be some frustrations trying to get out of town.
I would 100% agree it's the most hectic time to travel.
And if you are flying, Hartsfield-Jackson urging folks on domestic flights to arrive 2.5 hours ahead of your ahead of your time for your flight, and then international travelers should arrive 3 hours to make sure that you get to your flight on time. In Cherokee County, 2 people have been sentenced to 20 years in prison for an armed robbery at the Walden Crossing Apartments in Canton back in 2022. The victim, who had just gone to an ATM, was held up after stopping to enter the gate at the apartment complex. 22-year-old Nasheem Davis and 19-year-old Kai Greenwood, now sentenced to 20 years, with the first 10 to be served behind bars. And a rear camera issue is prompting a big recall at Hyundai. Jeff Gilbert has more.
A routine monitoring of warranty claims found a high instance of those cameras failing in certain 2024 and 25 model year Hyundai Santa Fe's. The cameras weren't installed properly, and the wiring can become damaged. Nobody's been hurt, but roughly 143,000 vehicles are involved in the recall.
As we check the markets, the Dow right now is up almost a full percent. So is NASDAQ and the S&P. It's 12:32.
It's Eric, and I love my hot tub from the Georgia Spa Company. I sat outside. It was like 43, 44 degrees outside. It was over 100 degrees in my hot tub, and the meteor shower in my backyard, it was crazy. Sat out there with the lights off. It was so relaxing. I watched the football game, turned it off, then watched the meteor shower. You can have that sort of relaxing in your backyard. They've got right now the Black Friday sale happening. You get hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, even the cold plunges that are all the rage these days. They're all great discounts, the best discounts of the year to get you relaxing and healthy. GeorgiaSpaCompany.com is the website. They've got 9 locations. Find the one nearest to you. You're not going to find sales better than this anywhere. Georgia Spa Company, the Black Friday sale, it's happening right now. Get savings. Get relaxing, get healthy with the Georgia Spa Company. From those cold plunges to the hot tubs to the swim spas, great savings right now. GeorgiaSpaCompany.com.
Hey guys, are you striking out in the bedroom? Because pills like Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra just don't work anymore. Here's how Choice Men's Health is solving PE and ED issues. Meet Dr. Katz, the expert in men's health.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Choice Men's Health offers safe, custom-blended medications designed to fit your needs. There is no pain or surgery. It doesn't matter how old you are or if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues. Not a problem. It's safe and affordable for everyone. You'll see results in 15 minutes guaranteed, or you don't pay anything. Solve the problem of ED and PE now.
For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are free. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170 to claim your initial consultation and first treatment for free. Call Choice Men's Health now, 404-400-1170.
I used to feel like my house was the least festive on the street, but not anymore. I'm Chris Chandler, and Wise Guys installed the holiday lights on my home. They make it simple. You get a quote right on the first call, and they can be installed as soon as this week. And if the lights ever need a quick service, they're out fast, usually the same day. Wise Guys handles everything, custom fit, maintenance, takedown, even the storage, all done for you. Now, when I booked, their schedule was filling up. Barely got a spot. So lock in your installation and save $100 when you mention my name, Chris Chandler. If you book before December 14th, just visit wiseguyslights.com.
We're at Live Team coverage of traffic and weather. Here's Alex Williams.
Hey, Sabrina. Unfortunately, red alert continues. 75 northbound shut down in Locust Grove, north of Bill Gardner Parkway. Traffic diverted at Highway 16. You can use Highway 42 or Highway 155. Those are getting very slow. Maybe even work your way farther west and use Highway 1941 to avoid that jam. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Mostly sunny and breezy today. High 65. Wind gusts as high as 25 miles per hour. Frigid for tonight as temperatures fall into the mid-30s.
62 degrees in Buford and Peachtree Corners. College Park has 63. We'll have more news at 1 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
And appreciate you listening to the Eric Erickson Show. And it is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. We have a lot of reaction rolling in from Georgia, and the 2020 election fraud charges against Donald Trump dropped. Guy by the name of Seth Abramson. I'm not sure exactly who he is, but I've had a couple of people send this to me. By the way, who am I? I am Dan Mandis, yes, and I host a morning show in Nashville, Tennessee on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And if you want to check that out, knock yourself out. I am on the socials, primarily on Facebook, Instagram, and also X, all three at Dan Mandis Show. So this guy, Seth Abramson, who, I mean, clearly this is another TDS or Trump derangement syndrome guy. He is a New York Times best-selling Trump and Elon Musk biographer. He is an attorney, retired journalism professor. Okay. So here's what he said. So the upshot of the now dropped January 6th case in Georgia is a rich white man can, with impunity, plot to overthrow our government with 18 co-defendants in a plot with a death toll if a black woman involved in the investigation had inadvisable sex. That is how racist America is. Do you see how just nonsensical these people are? I mean, here's the thing. This has been going on for quite some time, and it wasn't about a black woman, Fani Willis, having inadvisable sex. No, there was just the whiff of impropriety. Why was Fani Willis removed? Because of that appearance of impropriety. And by the way, it went through the courts. It went through the courts. Remember what happened with Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. The allegation was that the relationship began before Nathan Wade's hiring and involved Willis benefiting financially. Example, luxury vacations. They had a trip to the Bahamas and Napa Valley, funded by taxpayer dollars paid to Nathan Wade, who then reimbursed her in cash. Remember that whole thing? So Nathan Wade is taking these trips, and he's getting reimbursed for the trips, and then he is giving them to Fani Willis. And so I don't know, does that fall under the prism of a black woman involved in having inadvisable sex? No. It sounds like corruption, as a matter of fact. Do you know what I've noticed? See, now I'm getting all mad, and I didn't want to do this the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, but you know what? The morons out there give me no choice. Do you know what I've noticed is that there's all kinds of people out there on the left who will bring race into everything. If Fani Willis was white, there would still be the appearance of impropriety. But I love the air of sanctimonious, attitude. If a black woman involved in the investigation had inadvisable sex, it had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with the corruption. So it went through the courts. Just remember all this, right? So it goes through the courts. In March of 2024, Fulton County Superior Judge Scott McAfee ruled that while the relationship created an appearance of impropriety, it did not warrant full disqualification. he did allow Fonnie Willis to stay on the case if Wade resigned, which he did, emphasizing no definitive proof of financial benefit to Willis. All right, fine. But then, an appeals court. The appeals court overturned the prior ruling, arguing the trial court's remedy did nothing to address the appearance of impropriety that existed during critical pretrial decisions. Example, hiring Wade and selecting charges. The judges deemed it a rare case where disqualification of Willis and her entire office was mandated to restore public confidence in the proceedings. The ruling halted the case pending reassignment. So, memo to the people that are going to bring up this, I'm going to air quote this whole thing, this black woman argument or accusation saying it had to do more with a black woman involved in the investigation having inadvisable sex. It was about the corruption. It was about that appearance of impropriety. And it's stunning that people just don't understand that. I think, can I just tell you what I look at? When I look at people, not that anybody necessarily cares whether or not I deem them credible, but I'm gonna put it this way. Y'all don't know me, but I've been a talk show host for many, many, many years. And I try to look at things pretty straight up. I am a hardcore, in my opinion. I'm a hardcore conservative. But there are things that I will look at Republicans and conservatives, and I'll look at them and I'll say, you know what? You're wrong on this. You are absolutely wrong. So one of the things that I would ask is, how much credibility do people have? And I'm not talking about this Seth Abramson now. I'm not talking about him. I'm gonna talk about this sort of generally speaking. But if somebody looks at anything that has to do with Donald Trump with that air of Trump derangement syndrome and the man can never do anything right, then that person has zero credibility. What I look for, and you know who? Oh, I'm gonna go to talk show host H.E. Double Toothpicks for saying this. But you know he's actually got some credibility? A guy like Van Jones. Because Van Jones is willing to call out his own party. Van Jones is willing to say, you know what? Donald Trump got this one right. And so when I look at people who are commenting on this case, the Georgia 2020 election fraud charges against Donald Trump dropped, which happened here, I guess it was about an hour ago. But the people that I really look at for perspective, I'm going to give you a hint. Not a lot of them are on MSNBC or MS Now or whatever you call it. But I think that the people that you want to listen to are the ones that will say, you know what, Donald Trump got this one right. Or on the conservative side, where you have somebody that is willing to say Donald Trump got this one wrong. And sadly, over the past couple of weeks, I've had a few things to say about Donald Trump, a guy that I have supported for years, voted for the man 6 times. But he's been wrong on a few things. He was wrong on the 600,000 Chinese students, allowing them into our colleges and universities. He was absolutely wrong. He's been wrong on a few things, but you know what? Bottom line is, when you compare Donald Trump to Joe Biden, and you compare Joe Biden's economy and Joe Biden's inflation rates to where Donald Trump has it, I'll take Donald Trump's economy any day of the week and twice on Sunday. So there's a lot of, and when you look at these, and then I'm going to move on, but when you look at these cases and you look for people with whom you're looking for some perspective, I'm always looking for the straight shooters, not the ones that are just so incredibly hyper-partisan on either side. I don't need talking points. I need facts. And in the case about, regarding Georgia, I knew from the very beginning when I heard that call that they were trying to railroad Donald Trump. Absolutely. So we'll have to see what the reaction on this is. And if you missed the entire presentation on this in the beginning of this hour, they could, you never know, they could bring this stuff back. It doesn't sound like they will. It sounds like number one, if it ultimately turns out that the office, the prosecutor's office, the state of Georgia, has to ultimately pay the legal fees of Donald Trump and all of those other, 17, 18 or so defendants, they're going to be hit with hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, it's going to be a lot of money. Or it may not. I mean, they have to prove their case, and they've got to do all of that stuff. But it's going to be an awkward Thanksgiving with Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. If they're still seeing each other, whatever. Hope they're happy. I do kind of chuckle thinking about what Nathan Wade is going through right now if he's still dating. If he's still dating Fani Willis, can you imagine? Anyway, but good for Donald Trump. And let me tell you something. When you look at this, if you are a Donald Trump supporter, and again, I am, you see these things happen, and you saw it coming. One of the first things that I saw, one of the first things that I said when I saw this was, yeah, who didn't see this coming? Who didn't see this coming? Now, I also see a problem coming down the pike. When it comes to the Republicans in the House of Representatives, I've got that story for you coming up next. My name is Dan Mandis, in for Erick Erickson here on The Erick Erickson Show.
Old Glory Bank is my bank. They would love to be your bank. They're an online bank, but don't let that deter you. They're so easy to work with, particularly with businesses. They are very, very hands-on with businesses. They're very engaging. They want to engage with you. You go to oldglorybank.com/Erick today. oldglorybank.com/ERICK. Sign up with Old Glory Bank. You get a no-fee checking and savings account like I do. You can get premium accounts with interest. If you're a veteran, first responder, active duty military, they'll save you on those. If you're a business, you get great business accounts, and they business lending, very hands-on. They do mortgages and CDs. They've got great ways to deposit cash, even though they're an online bank. They've really thought about everything. I've really enjoyed them. I've been a customer theirs for about 2 years now. Eric, it's oldglorybank.com/Eric. Do that. oldglorybank.com/ERICK. oldglorybank.com/Eric. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Terms and conditions apply.
You can follow Eric around on social media at EW Erickson on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And check him out at EWErickson.com.
1247 Cool Day Carrier Traffic Center, still red alert in Henry County. Crash 75 northbound. The crash is just north of Bill Gardner Parkway, exit 212, but the diversion is back in place at Highway 16, exit 205. Use Highway 42, Highway 155, Highway 1941 as alternates. Also causing southbound delays mixed in with holiday travel. You're on the brakes, leaving Highway 138 in Stockbridge. Traffic brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $681 million. Players can win millions playing in-store or online at GALottery.com. Only from the Georgia Lottery. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Where you going is a given. How you're getting there?
Well, that's the question.
We will start to see some delays if they shut that ramp down on 285 East.
Before you hit the navigation
You're going to be slowing right around Hudson Bridge Road.
Listen to the people you can trust.
And really slow out of Ackworth into Emerson.
Updated traffic as often as you need it every time you listen.
We had a lot going on this morning through Henry County.
More experience, more reliable, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, triple team traffic.
95.5 WSB. How Atlanta gets there.
I need your attention, please. This is kind of a big deal. Omaha Steaks is doing one of the best sales I've ever seen them do. You know, I've been a long-time advertiser of theirs. I've been a long-time customer of theirs. I love the New York strips. My wife loves the caramel apple tartlets. I love their Argentinian shrimp. They have incredible seafood selections. They have main courses, sides. They make meal prep. I'm trying to lose weight again. They make it really easy for meal prep. They actually make cooking easy. at omahasteaks.com, and they'll save on your budget right now. Listen to this. For their cyber sale, you get 50% off site-wide. You get an extra 20% off select favorites at omahasteaks.com, and then at checkout, use promo code ERICK, E-R-I-C-K. You'll get an extra $35 off. Terms apply. See site for details. That's an incredible value at omahasteaks.com. You can make your friends and family happy with great gifts for Christmas. Who doesn't love steak? Well, the vegans, but I'm sure, they've got some sides there the vegans might like too. Incredible deal. omahasteaks.com. Use Eric as your promo code at checkout.
I'm Channel 2's Lori Wilson.
I'm Fred Blankenship. Channel 2 Action News this morning is the best place to be for breaking news.
So much is happening, and we're on it. Our reporters are the first to know in your community, bringing you fresh information, the best video.
We know you depend on us. It's why we're everywhere, live, to prepare you for the day ahead.
In the morning, see what's new.
Don't miss a day. Join us. Channel 2 Action News this morning, 4:30 to 7.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country, but Congressman Brian Jack is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Congressman Brian Jack at 202-225-5901 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
Have you heard about the Rule of 55? It allows many Americans to tap into their retirement savings as early as age 55 without the usual penalties. That's right, 55. Georgians could be enjoying their retirement a decade earlier than they might have otherwise planned. Don't miss out on an extra decade of retirement fun just because you don't know the rules. And our team can help with that. You can find us at yourwealth.com. That's yourwealth.com.
Don't delay peace of mind. Ace Hardware Home Services makes it simple to upgrade your heating, cooling, or plumbing with financing that works for your budget. Visit acehardwarehomeservices.com. Ace Hardware Home Services, bringing helpful to your home.
The Atlanta Symphony Orchestra warmly invites you to revel in the joy of the season at the Coca-Cola Holiday Concerts. Enjoy beloved carols, hymns, orchestral favorites, and more. Starting December 11th at Symphony Hall. Details at aso.org.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Just joined us? No worries. Check out the Eric Erickson Show 24/7 stream at ericerickson.com. Available for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
Appreciate you listening. My name is Dan Mandis in for Eric Erickson. And if you want to follow me on the socials, I wish you would. You can find me on X. You can find me on Facebook. And you can find me on Instagram. All three at Dan Mandis Show. Coming up, I don't know if you have heard what is going on in where I am in Middle Tennessee, Nashville. As a matter of fact, there is a special election that is going to happen on December 2nd. As a matter of fact, today is the last day to vote early in this special election in the 7th Congressional District in Middle Tennessee. Now, this is a nationwide show, and so people are listening all across the country. Why does this matter to you? Well, because the balance of the House could be just hinging on this particular special election. It is really close. As you know, there's a lot going on in the House of Representatives. So and I'm going to give the upshot of what happened and what is going on. So a guy by the name of Mark Green, and I'm in Nashville, so I know all about this. A guy named Mark Green, he was the congressman for the 7th Congressional District. He ultimately decided to retire, which left the seat open. And so you've got a Republican by the name of Matt Van Epps who won the primary in the special election, and a woman named Afton Bain, who is the Democrat, and she's nuts. We call her Psycho Afton, and perhaps you'll find out why in a moment. This is a woman who is so incredibly just off her hinges when it comes to Trump derangement syndrome and being a progressive that it almost seems like she's mentally ill. Now, I don't say that, I don't take that lightly. I don't like to use those kinds of words often because I think that's a very serious charge. But I want you to follow me on X, because there is video that has started to roll out courtesy of the Republicans. And there's one thing after another, after another, after another that Afton Bain has said. Now, I'm not going to get into all of it before the end of this hour. So I want to paint the picture, and then coming back, I will play you audio that is going to absolutely blow your mind. But I'm going to give you a hint, because I'm surprised that not a lot of people know about what's going on in the 7th, considering the fact that there is such a very, very slim majority in the House of Representatives. And so when you look at what is going on, and you look at how important this is, and you look at how slim the majority is for the Republicans, there is a lot of people watching this race. How important is it, you may ask? It is so important that Speaker Mike Johnson, believe it or not, that's right, Speaker Mike Johnson actually called into my little hometown radio station in Nashville, Tennessee, to talk about how important it is that Republicans come out to vote for Matt Van Epps.
The entire country is watching this race, okay? It's the only game on the map right now. It's a special election, and it is for all the marbles. You've seen how small the margins are, how small the majority is in the House Republican Conference. And to keep this train on the tracks, to keep delivering on the America First agenda, to keep President Trump's, all of his plans and agendas moving forward, we have got to get Matt Van Epps elected in this special seat. There's 1 day left for early voting.
Yeah, and that is today, and so early voting is about done. There has been some revelations about Afton Bain, and she does indeed look like a crazy person. And now, and I'll play the audio coming up from the next hour, heading into the next hour, but she actually said, now realize, this is the 7th Congressional District in Middle Tennessee. She actually said that she hates country music, and she hates Broadway, she hates Nashville, and she hates the state of Tennessee, and she hates the bridal parties that come to Nashville. She actually said that she hates all of those things. This was on a podcast. And so I've been talking about this for, I think, well over a week now, but the rest of the media is just now sort of catching up. And so I think it's fascinating to watch. There is some polling out there that will show you that Afton Bain, this is a district that Donald Trump won by 22 points. 22 points! And she may actually win this thing. A nut job, a socialist, a progressive, whatever you want to call her. Among the things that she has said in all of the, because, she's like 35, Afton Bain, this woman is 35. So she's appeared on all of these podcasts. She's posted all of these things on social media. And so all of this stuff has just been, right for the picking. And the Republicans have all of it, and they've started now to release it. And she looks like a crazy person. For example, one of the things that she did is she rushed, and all of this is on video. A lot of this is performative. But one of the things that she did was she rushed into the governor's office of the state of Tennessee. That's right, rushed into his office. And the big burly state troopers, one grabbed one arm, the other grabbed the other arm, and they dragged her, kicking and screaming, out of the governor's office. Wait till you hear this audio. It's coming up.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
It's not as bad as it could be. He's your co-pilot for the ride home. Hey, the ladies are at home. Let's smoke cigars.
Eric Von Haessler.
Some sort of cultural affirmation. Yes, I am this kind of man.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. But what's more, MediShare members like it. We know this from member surveys. They like it a lot. It's a proven thing now. MediShare has been around for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing, too. If you join before November 30th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they will waive your application fee. So you save $100 right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. Again, the deadline is November 30th, so call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. The Fulton County election interference case against President Trump has been dismissed.
It follows a thorough review of the facts, according to Pete Skandalakis, executive director of the Prosecuting Attorneys Council. In a 22-page filing, he lays out all of the reasons the case against the president and his co-defendants is being dismissed. He says that the citizens of Georgia would not be served by pursuing this case in full for another 5 to 10 years. He acknowledges that this decision will divide opinions, but he says that his assessment of this case has been guided solely by the evidence, the law, and the principles of justice. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
All right, so your weather for today, it's going to be sunny, but breezy and cooler air is rolling in. Afternoon highs around 65. It is going to get cold as you head into Thanksgiving. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. A scare on a flight leaving Atlanta as a passenger opened an emergency exit door.
Atlanta police say a passenger on KLM Airlines Flight 622 panics when he thinks he sees a weapon. He calls 911 and eventually opens up the emergency exit, causing the inflatable slide to deploy as the plane bound for Amsterdam was taxiing. The plane returns to the gate where officers take custody of Johannes van Heerdem. Police say it appears he was experiencing a mental health episode. He's charged with reckless conduct, criminal damage to property, and interfering with security measures, and was taken to the Clayton County Jail. Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
It looks like we're already spending heading into the holidays. According to data from Adobe Analytics, consumers have been spending in record amounts during the first weeks of the shopping season. Adobe analyst, Vivek Pandya, says deals are driving purchases, but so are social media influencers.
You're having consumers explore on social networks, see what the best deals are, and take advantage of them, especially if there are those ones with additional promo codes and things like that.
He says right now toys and game consoles are among the most popular items being bought. And just in time for the holidays, there is a new survey today about house guests. Michael Wallace has details.
2,000 people were asked how long they're happy to host house guests. The consensus was 6 days. For parents, it's 8 days. For in-laws, it's only 5.
Can I refill your eggnog for you? Get you something to eat? Drive you out to the middle of nowhere? Leave you for dead?
No, I'm doing just fine, Clark.
33% of hosts say when they've had enough of their guests, they drop hints that it's time to leave. 22% say they outright tell their guests to get out. Almost half of those polled say they want to be the house everyone comes to for the holidays.
All right, let's take a look at the markets right now. The Dow currently up almost a full percent. NASDAQ is up a full percent, and the S&P is almost there. It's 102.
It's Eric, and I love my hot tub from the Georgia Spa Company. I sat outside. It was like 43, 44 degrees outside. It was over 100 degrees in my hot tub, and the meteor shower in my backyard, it was crazy. Sat out there with the lights off. It was so relaxing. I watched the football game, turned it off, then watched the meteor shower. You can have that sort of relaxing in your backyard. They've got right now the Black Friday sale happening. You get hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, even the cold plunges that are all the rage these days. They're all great discounts, the best discounts of the year to get you relaxing and healthy. GeorgiaSpaCompany.com is the website. They've got 9 locations. Find the one nearest to you. You're not going to find sales better than this anywhere. Georgia Spa Company, the Black Friday sale, it's happening right now. Get savings, get relaxing, get healthy with the Georgia Spa Company. From those cold plunges to the hot tubs to the swim spas, great savings right now. GeorgiaSpaCompany.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Beaver Toyota and Beaver Mazda present Atlanta's original Black Friday silent sale. Here's what's up. On Thanksgiving Day, over 800 cars and trucks will be marked with the lowest price we would ever sell them for. This is it. This is the big one. Don't you miss it.
It's 1:05. That means it's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
And Sabrina, we're still watching the crash in Locust Grove. Luckily now just 1 to 2 right lanes are blocked. 75 north of Bill Gardner Parkway, exit 212. Southbound's where you're seeing the delays now. Out of Stockbridge down into McDonough with holiday travel there. And looking for a new crash, DOT's reporting in the left lane in Marietta. 75 southbound North Marietta Parkway, exit number 265. Seeing the brake lights behind that out of Kennesaw. 85 northbound, waves of volume added to Cabin and Gwinnett from 285 up toward Indian Trail. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies and breezy today, high 65, but the wind gusting as high as 25 miles per hour is pulling in that Arctic air. Lows tonight will be in the mid-30s. Tomorrow, sunshine, breezy, and chilly, high 49. Staying cold on Friday, even with partly cloudy skies. Morning lows in the upper 20s, daytime highs in the mid-40s.
61 degrees in Alpharetta and Douglasville, 64 in Brazelton. We'll have more news at 1:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Today on The Eric Erickson Show, he's a 40-year broadcaster, Marconi Award winner, and always in search of the perfect cup of coffee. Filling in for Eric today, Dan Mandis.
Appreciate you listening to the Eric Erickson Show. It is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Always appreciate the opportunity to fill in for the mighty Eric Erickson. And we have a lot of news to continue to cover. I am in Middle Tennessee. I am in Nashville. I don't live in Nashville. Thankfully, I live in a suburb. But right now, Nashville and the 7th Congressional District, it really is the focal point of American politics for, again, this Wednesday before Thanksgiving, because there is a special election that is going on, and the early voting, it ends today. And then we've got, of course, the Thanksgiving holiday, and then the actual election is going to be on December 2nd. Now, the reason why this is so important, I wrapped up the previous hour talking about how even Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, realizes how important this is and this election is, because the balance of power in the House of Representatives with the retirement of Marjorie Taylor Greene, there's a couple of other special elections that are going to happen in the next couple of months. And it is getting really close. And that is why, I'm going to play this one more time, that is why a lot of people are looking at this race in Middle Tennessee.
The entire country is watching this race, okay? It's the only game on the map right now. It's a special election, and it is for all the marbles. You've seen how small the margins are, how small the majority is in the House Republican Conference. And to keep this train on the tracks, to keep delivering on the America First agenda, to keep President Trump's, all of his plans and agendas moving forward, we have got to get Matt Van Epps elected in this special seat. There's 1 day left for early voting.
Yep. Okay. So just setting the stage, Fox News is talking about this, Newsmax is talking about this, and so forth. So Matt Van Epps is the Republican, and he's never run for office before, and he is very conservative. He's a West Point grad. He is a military hero, flies helicopters, as a matter of fact. And he, I'm a local talk show host in Nashville, Tennessee on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And he actually announced that he was running on my show. He's a great guy. Afton Bain is a state lawmaker. Progressive. Insane. Not very bright. And yet she has the possibility of flipping this seat, this dead red seat in dead red Tennessee. And people are absolutely freaking out. Republicans are freaking out. Democrats are very excited. Republicans are like, what? Yeah. Now, some polling came out today, and it does show these two basically tied. And people are trying to figure out how in the world are these two almost tied? Well, I think the Democrats are running on anger. The Democrats are running on Orange Man bad. And the Democrats are running on, anybody but, Republicans and Donald Trump. And so since she came out and announced, we've got all of these videos that are now coming out that make her look like a complete psycho. I've actually started calling her Psycho Afton. So I'm going to play some of that audio. This is radio, so some of this is a visual. Follow me on X at Dan Mandis Show. And man, friends, all you've got to do is scroll down, and you will see video after video after video of this progressive running in the 7th Congressional District. Now, I was telling you about how she was caught on a podcast bragging about how much she hated Nashville and how much she hated the state of Tennessee. This really was the opening salvo in a myriad of videos that have been posted of things that she has said over the years, things that have been negative about Nashville, that have been hateful about Nashville and about the state of Tennessee, the very city and the very district that she wants to represent. This audio went viral.
Heavily involved with the Nashville mayoral race because I hate the city, I hate the bachelorettes, I hate the pedal taverns, I hate country music.
You literally want to serve this region. This is the district. If you are standing in front of Tootsie's, if you are standing in front of Kid Rock's, if you are standing in front of Ole Red, then you are in the 7th Congressional District. And that representative would be Afton Bain, who hates everything that Lower Broadway stands for. It is incredible. And yet the Democrats are possibly going to put her in charge of that district. And I don't blame the Democrats. I blame the Republicans.
Heavily involved with the Nashville mayoral race because I hate the city, I hate the bachelorettes, I hate the pedal taverns, I hate country music, I hate all of the things that make Nashville apparently an it city to the rest of the country, but I hate it. Yeah, I'm that girl at the airport that all these bachelorettes are giddy walking out in their two-toned colored Pantone pink shirts, and they walk out and they're like, oh my God, Nashville is so bad.
They're so loud.
Can you imagine that? That she might be in charge of Lower Broad. She might be in charge of the street that holds all of the bars that you've heard of. If you've ever been to Nashville and you've been to, Kid Rock's or Ole Red, owned by Blake Shelton and so forth, she'd be in charge of it, and she hates it. And so as you can imagine, she got hammered for that. And there have been several comments, as a matter of fact, about how Afton Bain hates the city of Nashville, hates the state of Tennessee. By the way, Matt Van Epps, he actually likes Nashville.
Absolutely. Well, I love Nashville. I love country music.
Right.
And we're going to fight really hard for Nashville, Davidson County, all of our 14 counties.
Sure.
And the distinction could not be more clear. Afton is a crazy left-wing radical who wants higher taxes. She wants to defund the police. She wants gender surgeries for minors without parental consent. And we must vote to stop this person. The only way to do it, only way to stop her is to vote.
Well, he's right. And so the worry is that Republicans, they're just, for whatever reason, man, they're not interested in coming out to vote. And the Democrats are really angry. I mean, you know how Democrats get, right? I mean, like frothing at the mouth, getting all sweaty and angry and screaming and yelling and all that kind of stuff. I mean, Athol Bain is one of those. And, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I'm very conservative. And a buddy of mine threw a hot take on me that I actually kind of agree with. This is a special election, right? So in another year, Athol Bain, if she wins, she is going to have to run for re-election. Do you think that Republicans need to be taught a lesson? Where it's like the 7th Congressional District, it's got Fort Campbell in it. And what I've been telling the people of the 7th, because where I do my radio show, I mean, the radio station literally blankets the entire district. And my thing is, listen, if you don't want to vote for Matt Van Epps because he's way too low-key, because dude is, I love him, but he's very low-key. He's not the most dynamic of people. But here's the thing. You know, I do want you to think about this, friends. Do the Republicans need to suffer a humiliating defeat to get activated? Because it seems like the Democrats are activated. And the Republicans, it's like, really? And I've said, if Matt Van Epps isn't doing it for you, then vote against Athol Bain. Here's another one. You ready? So apparently, she once brought wait for it, a transgender pastor into the Tennessee state legislature. And she also said that it makes her feel uncomfortable to see her colleagues pray. Yeah, believe it or not, that's what she said. It makes her uncomfortable to see her colleagues pray. Listen.
And I think, you know, especially as someone who is more secular, I have a hard time when religion is at the core of everything we do in the legislature. And so, for example, on the House floor, we say a prayer every session. Some committees open up with prayer. We also stand for the pledge. And there are also prayer groups in the legislature that meet routinely. There are Christian pastors that have a lot of say and proximity to power in the legislature and dictate a lot of what the power players do. And it is uncomfortable.
So prayer makes Athol Bain feel uncomfortable. So then, of course, you know, my question was, okay, so can I ask this question then? Is it okay, because clearly a Christian pastor praying makes her feel uncomfortable, but is it okay if the prayer comes from a transgender pastor? I mean, I'm asking. I'm just asking a question. Is it okay if that prayer, Athol Bain, comes from a transgender pastor? Because that is what she brought into the Tennessee state legislature. It's amazing. It is amazing, isn't it? And you know, the thing is, as all of these videos have been coming out, and it's like more and more of these videos continue to come out, it is shocking. Now, earlier this morning, when I was on the air in Nashville, I'm on 5 to 9 Central, one of the things that came out was some polling that did indeed show that Athol Bain was either right, it depends on how you look at the numbers, but how Athol Bain was right up there with the Republican. Some people say it is a stunning development. And I'm on the one hand, I always try to be the voice of reason. Sometimes I'm the voice of screaming, but other times I try to be the voice of reason. And so you talk about Athol Bain and what she represents to the people of Nashville. And for a lot of folks, what she represents is decay and destruction, because she is a defund the policer, right? Everything she does is through the prism of, the trans rights and all that other kind of stuff. There's some audio out there, and it's not very good audio, so I'm not going to play it. But we had, of course, the very tragic and horrifying Covenant shooting here in Nashville about, a year or two ago now, I think it's been. And so do you know what her takeaway was from the Covenant shooting? The Covenant shooting where children were killed by a person, a trans person, right? And her takeaway from that was that she wanted to introduce a trans Bill of Rights every single day in reaction to the murder of children and adults at Covenant School. After a trans person murdered 6 people. And her reaction wasn't to say a prayer because that makes her feel uncomfortable. No. Can't have prayer. That makes her feel uncomfortable. She brought to the floor the Trans Bill of Rights so that trans people could be protected. Can you imagine that? Here's another one. You ready? Just real quick. And then I got to take a break. J.D. Vance is coming to Middle Tennessee actually today.
You were saying, before we got started, you were saying that J.D. Vance, is that right? J.D. Vance is coming to your district to campaign on behalf of your opponent tomorrow?
Yeah, so Trump had a teletown hall for my opponent, and it was very strange hearing Trump say your name. I was hoping he
said your name?
Oh, yeah, twice.
You know what's funny, real quick, when and you can see this on my social media. So Jim Acosta is interviewing Afton Bain, and when he says, Donald Trump said your name, he makes that face like, somebody farted in the elevator.
I was hoping he'd say something like, she is way less cute than my daughter, Ivanka. She's not a real blonde. No, I
that's a good Trump.
Thank you.
It's really not.
I thought it was going to be funny. It wasn't. But so they brought in the big dogs because Trump can't afford to lose another district. J.D. Vance is coming to Fort Campbell, which is obviously a base for military families tomorrow. And so the cavalry is being called in because this race has unforeseen become quite close.
Now, here's what's funny, though. What's funny about this is that, do you know that Kamala Harris came into Nashville and wouldn't even be seen on the same stage as Afton Bain and did not endorse Afton Bain? That's right. Kamala Harris did not endorse Afton Bain. So how bad, how progressive does Afton Bain have to be to not earn the endorsement of Kamala Harris? Amazing. My name is Dan Mandis, in for Eric Erickson. We'll return next.
I'm actually in Las Vegas today, and I have my Eden Pure Thunderstorm with me because it's small. I can keep it in my travel bag. I hold it in my hand. I can plug it up with a USB cord, plug it into the wall. And I've used it here before if someone smoked, although I'm actually in a really nice hotel now, don't have an adjoining room, but, someone's in a smoking next door, you wipe out the odors. A rental car, it wipes out every odor. It kills bacteria, viruses, it traps dust and pollen. You can get 3 of them for less than $200. They're easy to travel with. Put one upstairs, downstairs, your basement, your travel bag, wherever you need it. You go to EdenPureDeals.com. Eden, like the Garden of Eden, pure as the driven snow. EdenPureDeals.com. Use the discount code ERIC3, ERICK3 at EdenPureDeals.com. Get 3 Eden Pure Thunderstorms. You can put them wherever you need them. Keep one in your travel bag. They're small, lightweight, highly portable, very useful at eliminating odors. EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code ERIC3, ERICK3.
When the truth seems hazy, Eric will clear the way. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
123 Cool Ray Carrier Traffic Center. All lanes blocked and reopened in Dorville. 285 eastbound, the Interloop Peachtree Boulevard exit number 31. Moved a stall off to the side there. And still trying to get eyes on this crash. DOT says in the left lane in Marietta. 75 southbound at North Marietta Parkway. Traffic brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store where you can find so many holiday essentials, all for under $25. Don't wait. Find a location at Macy'sBackstage.com. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Hey, tomorrow on Atlanta's Morning News, a special holiday edition talking shopping, grocery prices, things to do around the metro during the season. Scott Slade and Clark Howard are along too. I'm Chris Chandler. We start at 5 on WSB.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of a new Kia from Jim Ellis Kia of Kennesaw. During the Season of New Traditions year-end sales event, now is the perfect time to save. Lease the 2026 Kia Sportage LX for just $249 a month at Jim Ellis Kia of Kennesaw. The SUV equipped for every holiday adventure. Plus, enjoy year-end savings on remaining 2025 inventory and exclusive customer cash offers on select EV models. Unwrap the savings on a new Kia this holiday season, including the Kia Sportage for only $249 per month. Find yours at JimEllisKiaofKennesaw.com or stop by 1221 Auto Park Drive, exit 269 off I-75. Jim Ellis Kia of Kennesaw, where you can always expect the best. Offer applies to 2026 Kia Sportage LX, 24-month lease, $249 per month, 10,000 miles per year, $3,999 due at signing, 0 security deposit. Example stock number JSP 26038, MSRP $31,275. Excludes tax, title, and state fees. Offer expires 11/30/25 with approved credit.
Will my hair really grow back? Do I still get to have a birthday party? Can my teddy come into the machine with me? Will you stay with me tonight, Mommy?
Every day, kids at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta ask questions they should never have to. By giving today, you can help us answer them. With your support, our kids get the care and treatment they need, and even a birthday they'll never forget. Give to Children's for that. Donate today at choa.org/give.
I want you to know that you are loved. You are loved personally and completely, more fully and deeply than you can understand or imagine. When your pain tries to tell you that you're not loved, let His pain remind you that you are. Jesus went through what He went through for you because He loves you. You are loved. This is Tom Gray, thanking Hardy Family Ford for their support.
We love you and we need you.
ThisStuffMatters.net.
I sat outside in my hot tub the other night in the backyard watching the Leonid meteor shower. It was fantastic. After midnight, it was 40s outside, over 100 in the hot tub. It was relaxing thanks to the Georgia Spa Company. And right now they're having their Black Friday sale. Hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, cold plunges, all at massive once-a-year discounts. They'll have you relaxing through Christmas and beyond. They've got 9 locations. Go to GeorgiaSpaCompany.com right now. Find the one nearest to you. Get soaking, get savings, and relax.
Picture it, your holiday table, the family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps. This season at Kroger, make the moments that matter possible with quality that's affordable in every aisle. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Don't miss great savings on bacon. Select varieties of Wright bacon in 24-ounce packages or buy one, get one free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join Medi-Share and save even more than usual. For many families, joining Medi-Share means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. But what's more, Medi-Share members like it. We know this from member surveys. They like it a lot. It's a proven thing now. Medi-Share has been around for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing, too. If you join before November 30th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they will waive your application fee. So you save $100 right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. Again, the deadline is November 30th, so call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Taking the complicated and making it simple. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
My name is Dan Mandis, in for Eric today, and I love this. We're just talking about Afton Bain, this Democrat, progressive, whatever you want to say, running in the 7th. This is the headline from the Washington Free Beacon. Democrat nominee in the Tennessee special election once called on white candidates to forfeit to minority opponents. That's right. Here's what she said. Ask yourself in this moment. You know how Democrats and progressives, they always like to use that term, in this moment. Ask yourself in this moment, is my voice more important? And if you think it is, then your campaign is more about you than your policy agenda, Afton Bain wrote. Some very high and mighty ideals, if I do say so myself, but here's the crazy thing. Those high and mighty ideals were nowhere to be found when she herself beat a black rival. Right? Anybody shocked by the hypocrisy of one Afton Bain? My name is Dan Mandis. Appreciate you listening to The Eric Erickson Show.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Ben Hill Renovation. The Fulton County election interference case against President Trump and his co-defendants has been dismissed. The decision, laid out in a 22-page court filing from the head of the Prosecuting Attorneys Council, cites many reasons for the dismissal, according to WSB senior legal analyst Ron Carlson.
I think it remarks very, very strongly on the challenges that would be faced by carrying the prosecution forward, not only of effort, but of economics.
Now, in the filing, Pete Skandalakis says his assessment of this case has, quote, been guided solely by the evidence, the law, and principles of justice. All right, your weather for today, sunny skies, breezy, cooler air is moving in. Afternoon highs today, 65. A different story for Thanksgiving, though. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. It's getting busy out there as Thanksgiving travel rush is now on.
I will 100% agree it's the most hectic time to travel.
He is one of the millions hitting the road today. The Georgia DOT saying the busiest travel time is now until 6 tonight. A rear camera issue prompting a big recall at Hyundai. Jeff Gilbert has that story.
A routine monitoring of warranty claims found a high instance of those cameras failing in certain 2024 and 25 model year Hyundai Santa Fe's. The cameras weren't installed properly, and the wiring can become damaged. Nobody's been hurt, but roughly 143,000 vehicles are involved in the recall.
Now, sellers are pulling listings from the housing market at the fastest pace in nearly a decade. According to a new Redfin analysis, nearly 85,000 sellers took their homes off the market in September, which is up 28% from a year earlier and marks the highest for the month in 8 years. Redfin counted a home as delisted if it went off the market for more than 31 days without selling or going under contract as pending or contingent. The delisting surge is a major reason prices have not fallen despite the presence of market conditions like increased supply and weak demand that would normally pull prices down. And speaking of home buying, mortgage rates are down, almost the lowest we've seen in 3 years. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 404 at 47,516. NASDAQ is in positive territory, up almost a full percent. So is the S&P. It's 132.
It's my favorite time of year. I love spending time with family, enjoying delicious, nutritious food and bread. That's right, real bread, not that enriched stuff you see on the grocery shelves. This is Sue from Bread Beckers in Woodstock with Sue's Healthy Minute. My family and I were blown away from the health benefits of making real bread from freshly milled whole grains. After more than 30 years in business, we are more than a kitchen store. We are a real food store where you can get everything you need to make real bread for your family. Come to the Bread Beckers store in Woodstock this holiday season. We offer a complete line of grains, beans, sweeteners, and other whole foods, and check out our top-of-the-line kitchen equipment, including grain mills, pressure cookers, freeze dryers, and more. Our infused olive oils and vinegars are a huge hit. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff will help you find the perfect gift. Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
Beaver Toyota and Beaver Mazda present Atlanta's original Black Friday silent sale. Here's what's up. On Thanksgiving Day, over 800 cars and trucks will be marked with the lowest price we would ever sell them for. This is it. This is the big one. Don't you miss it.
Hey guys, are you striking out in the bedroom? Because pills like Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra just don't work anymore. Here's how Choice Men's Health is solving PE and ED issues. Meet Dr. Katz, the expert in men's health.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Choice Men's Health offers safe, custom-blended medications designed to fit your needs. There is no pain or surgery. It doesn't matter how old you are or if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues. Not a problem. It's safe and affordable for everyone. You'll see results in 15 minutes guaranteed, or you don't pay anything. Solve the problem of ED and PE now.
For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are free. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170 to claim your initial consultation and first treatment for free. Call Choice Men's Health now, 404-400-1170.
Pro athletes and attorneys count on George Stein, the DUI lawyer. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler. George Stein has been a personal and professional friend for decades. He literally wrote the book on DUI defense in Georgia. I trust him, and you can too. GeorgeStein.com.
Alex Williams, how are we doing on the roads?
Been dealing with a left lane crash in Marietta, 75 southbound, North Marietta Parkway, exit 265, slow in the right out of Kennesaw, and it looks like new trouble. It's in the left lane as well, 285 westbound, the inner loop before Boulder Crest Road, exit 51 into Cab. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Mostly sunny and breezy today, high 65, wind gusts as high as 25 miles per hour. Frigid for tonight as temperatures fall into the mid-30s.
We'll have more news at 2 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
And you can always follow me on the socials at Dan Mandis Show. Primarily, if you would give me a sympathy follow on Instagram, that would be appreciated. Also, you can find me on X and also on Facebook. All three at Dan Mandis Show. I'm just, I'm kind of having some fun with this Afton Bain audio. Because I think that part of what James Carville has some great audio that I'll try to get to before the end of the program here. But he is even questioning what is the future of the Democrat Party? Because they're going more and more radical, and they don't even really, to be honest, they don't really seem to care. But here's the thing, is that there are radical policies. And then there is radical behavior. And one of the things that I'm noticing is that the Democrats, they have no shame anymore. Here's an example. So just staying with this theme of Afton Bain, there was a moment a couple of years ago where she thought that it would be a good idea. Now, this is a visual. I'm going to go ahead and post this right to the top of my X feed, because this is somewhat of a visual, but I'm going to do some play-by-play for you. And so follow me again on X at Dan Mandis Show. There it is. So she decides that it would be a good idea in the capital of the state of Tennessee to sprint into the governor's office, only to be met by a couple of very burly state troopers who kindly escort her out of the governor's office. Yeah. That is her. She's screaming like a skin cat. Now see, I shouldn't laugh, but they're dragging her. You've got one on each arm, and they're dragging her basically by her knees. Do you know when you have small children? You have small children, and you're trying to get them like out of Chuck E. Cheese, and so they go all limp. That was what she was doing. She went all limp, like she didn't want to leave Chuck E. Cheese.
Sorry, that was completely unnecessary.
It actually was necessary. She rushed into the governor's office. And now she's like on her knees, and she's crying in the middle of the state capitol, outside of the governor's office.
That is unreasonable.
No, it's not unreasonable. She rushed into the governor's office. By the way, don't think for a moment that this isn't performative. Don't think for a moment that this 35-year-old, who, in my opinion, doesn't have a lick of sense, doesn't know that it is wrong to rush into the governor's office for the state of Tennessee. And so she's on her knees. Again, very performative. And she's sobbing. Are you okay? She's got her face in her elbow, as she is trying to shield her face from the camera. Oh, but wait. She stops as this is so funny. If you watch the video, she actually stops crying so that she can check her phone. This is who the Democrats, the radical Democrats, want to put in the 7th Congressional District. Please allow me one more video. There's a lot more. I'm only going to do one more because I feel like I may be overdoing it, and I'm just like a guest host on the show, so I don't want to overdo it. But there was really what brought this to national attention, and then I promise I'm going to move on. I'll play James Carville and him talking about the future of the Democrat Party. But this was when she was on MS Now, because this really, it's about the 7th Congressional District here in the state of Tennessee and the balance of power in the House, kind of, sort of. But it's really more what I would say is really indicative of where the Democrat Party is going. I think that's really more of what this is all about. So she is being interviewed on MS Now, used to be on MSNBC, whatever. And they start asking her about some tweets that she has sent years before about defunding the police, celebrating police stations being burnt down, and a few other things.
Representative, in 2020, you made some tweets that have since been deleted that were very critical of police. You said in those since deleted tweets that the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department should be dissolved. Another cheered on a teachers union saying that defund the police should be a requirement for schools reopening. And another saying good morning, especially to the 54% of Americans that believe burning down a police station is justified. 2020 was obviously a very fraught year. Do you still stand by those comments? And
you know what, just real quick. So when she tweeted out, good morning to the whatever that wants police stations to be burned down, do you know what was going on at the time? You had Antifa out there in Oregon, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was Washington. I can't remember which. But they were trying to burn down police stations with police officers inside. That's the kind of radical nature that the Democrat Party is working with now and very enthusiastic about.
And if not, is there anything you want to clarify?
I'm not going to engage in cable news talking points, but what I will say is that
I'm not going to give in to cable news talking points. That is part of what she said. And the thing that I find funny is that they're not talking about cable news talking points. They're trying to clarify your position on defunding the police. And clearly she wasn't able to answer the question. Listen to this.
And if not, is there anything you want to clarify?
I'm not going to engage in cable news talking points, but what I will say is that our communities need solutions. We need local people deciding, solving local problems with local solutions, and that's not the overreach of a federal government or state government of which we are dealing with in Nashville and our cities across the state of Tennessee.
Foobarred it. I mean, absolutely shanked it.
So you don't want to clarify whether you still believe that the police should be defunded?
Once again, I don't remember these tweets, but what I'm saying is that
I'm not asking you if you remember. What is your position today? How's that?
It's not that hard, Afton. Not that hard
on this issue.
I mean, once again, I'm here to talk about my race, which is in literally 9 days.
Wow. I mean, I saw that. This was a few days ago. I saw that and I just could not believe it. Here, I'm going to go ahead, and if you haven't heard this or seen it or whatever, Fox News was doing it this morning. I'm going to go ahead and put that at the top of my X feed as well. Not a good look. But see, here's the thing. The thing is that you've got the Democrats and they simply put do not care. They don't care. They don't care how radical. They don't care how unhinged, whether we are talking about behavior or policy. I mean, there's enough. I'm going to spare you any more audio of Afton Bain because I feel bad enough because I'm subjecting you to all of this. But it's to a bigger point. And the bigger point is that we are right now in the 7th Congressional District in the state of Tennessee about to put that into Congress. And she's going to be, they call her the AOC of the South. And so now we're going to have another one of those AOCs and your Ilhan Omars and your Rashida Tlaib and a lot of these other type people. And I got to tell you, as a guy that is right here, it is horrifying. By the way, so there was some, real quickly, there was some polling that came out today. And again, it showed that they were just about tied. The Poly Market, though, and I don't know who to believe. The Poly Market, the people that actually bet on elections and politics and all that. Yeah, people actually do that, believe it or not. Well, the Poly Market is now showing that since all of this insanity has come out, and by the way, the Poly Market, instant in how these things are bet on. The Poly Market is saying that the possibility of her winning the race has dropped dramatically as all of these things have come out. So that's number one. But number two, there's some polling out there, and I got into a little, not a tiff, but a guy that I work with, because he was just, obsessed over this polling and how, these two, Matt Van Epps and Afton Bain, they were almost tied. But they did some of this polling days ago before a lot of this stuff came out. So I believe the Poly Market, but here's the deal, and this goes all the way back to where we started this segment, which is if the Republicans don't come out for this special election today, which is the last day of early voting, or on December 2nd when the official day of voting is, if they don't come out, then they deserve to lose. And they need to understand that the other side is far more passionate than our side, than the conservative side. I can't beg and plead and cajole these people to go out and vote. If they don't want to do it, then okay. If that's how they want to be represented, then that's the way that they want to be represented. It's horrifying and sad. I don't blame the Democrats. I don't get mad at the Democrats for doing what they do. I'm mad at conservatives if they don't come out. Because ultimately what that means is that they're represented by a flipping lunatic. My name is Dan Mandis, in for Eric Erickson. We'll return next. Or I'll go ahead and keep talking. There's a lot of other things that are going on. It is the day before Thanksgiving. And one of the things that we all talk about at Thanksgiving, of course, is what is going on with our family members. And part of what's going on with family members, of course, is the traditional fighting at the dinner table. And so part of what happens when you do fight at the dinner table is, of course, people get their feelings hurt and all kinds of things happen. I want to relate to you some stories about what is going on, what has gone on with my family over the years. And there's a point to this story. And the point to the story is that oftentimes when families get into fights, especially around Thanksgiving dinner, there is no coming back. And you do see these things from time to time. And so in my family, we had the East Coast Mandises and the West Coast Mandises. And I know that there's all kinds of people that are going to be fighting for, the next couple of days because your liberal conservatives are coming to town or your conservative relatives are coming to town if you are on the left. And so part of that is, okay, so how do you avoid these kinds of fights? And it does seem to be very simple. And that is just simply avoid the conversation. But you know what's interesting? My family was never able to avoid the conversation. And I remember as a kid wanting so bad. Do you remember this? Wanting so bad to sit at the kids' table as you're sitting at the kids' table, you want to go sit at the adults' table. When I was finally about 12 or 13, do you know how many minutes it took me to want to go back to the kids' table? I mean, it was literally about 2 or 3 minutes. About 2 or 3 minutes, and I was ready to go back. And so the more that the adults continued to argue, the more that I thought, this is insane. Why exactly is it that that I've always wanted to sit at the adults' table, and now this is what I'm dealing with? And you know the thing that I noticed? The thing that I noticed was the more that people got drunk, the worse and more humorous things got. That's right. But you know what the sad thing is? The sad thing is that the longer that people went after an argument, reconnecting, the less likely that it was. And I remember one year it got really bad, and I mean really bad. And there were relatives, and I forget what they were arguing about because I was too young at the time. But I always thought that when they wouldn't be able to reconnect, or they refused to reconnect, and then one of those relatives passed away and everybody's crying, oh, I can't believe that she's dead. And I remember thinking, well, why didn't you try to reconnect? Because I think that it is absolutely, and I'm a conservative, I think it is absolutely insane to disconnect with people over politics on Thanksgiving or any other day. You see, I've seen this happen, where people get in these Thanksgiving fights and then they never, ever reconnect. They won't forgive each other. They won't look past the politics. And then when somebody dies, you see everybody at the funeral and they're crying. And I'm sitting there thinking, why in the world are you crying now when you could have had years to make up? But you see that all the time. And it doesn't make any sense. It's never made sense to me why they do that, why relatives and families do that, but they do. And it is very strange. And it's epically sad. We'll return next.
Around the country, Americans for Prosperity advocates for common sense conservative solutions for families and small businesses, whether it's permitting reform, deregulation, or school choice, expanding education options for kids, the president's tax cuts, tax reform. Americans for Prosperity engages a grassroots army, and they'd love for you to be in it. With chapters in every state, they get you out and involved. You meet fellow conservatives. You learn about what common sense conservative solutions are percolating in your states. And then you can pressure Congress, your state legislature, even your local government to pursue the agenda. Even Democratic states have been willing to embrace some of the great common sense conservative reforms. You go to afpvolunteer.com. That's afpvolunteer.com. Sign up with Americans for Prosperity today. Get involved in your local community advancing common sense conservative solutions with afpvolunteer.com.
Those who love him, listen to find out what he's going to say next. Those who disagree with him, also listen to see what he's going to say next. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
152 Coolray Carrier Traffic Center. All lanes shut down right now temporarily. 285 westbound, the inner loop before Boulder Crest Road, exit 51. Trying to get a crash out of 2 left lanes. You can use 20 west as an alternate. In West Atlanta, crash in 2 right lanes. 20 eastbound, Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, exit 53. Use MLK, Joseph E. Boone, or Highway 78 to avoid those backups. Traffic brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store where you can find so many holiday essentials, all for under $25. Don't wait. Find a location at Macy'sBackstage.com. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This holiday could be 100 times brighter just by listening to 95.5 WSB.
Because we have the WSB Turkey Day Payday.
Listen to 95.5 WSB all Thanksgiving Day, every hour, 9 a.m. through 6 p.m. You could win a $100 Publix gift card.
Listen for the keyword each hour.
You'll have until the end of that hour to enter the keyword at WSBradio.com or on the WSB app. One lucky winner every hour gets a $100 Publix gift card.
The WSB Turkey Day Payday.
From Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Your first chance to win is tomorrow at 9 a.m. on 95.5 WSB.
This Thanksgiving, travel in confidence with a Lexus from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. All in-stock vehicles are price locked for peace of mind and come with complimentary airport parking for the holiday season. Visit ButlerLexusSouthAtlanta.com or call 800-NEW-LEXUS. Butler Lexus, the standard of amazing.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. My dad, Mike. Dad, what's the all-time best Christmas gift?
Diamond studs. Everybody needs a pair.
And ours don't break the bank. Real diamonds set in gold from just $275. And with D. Geller & Son's lifetime upgrade, get 100% of what you paid towards a bigger pair anytime for life.
We also have diamond jackets for $5.95 that go around the studs to instantly change the look.
So come spend the holidays with the experts at D. Geller & Son in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
I'm so excited to hear my son's band play tonight. They've been, be right back. They've been rehearsing, bathroom break. Overactive bladder can mean missing out on life's moments, navigating life around the nearest bathroom instead of the next experience. Medtronic therapies have treated nearly 500,000 people worldwide with bladder or bowel control problems. Let Medtronic show you what's possible. Visit medtronic.com/bladderhelp to learn how.
The holidays are here, friends, so let my friends at Publix help you save money by shopping the buy one, get one deals every week. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back with you. BOGOs galore at your neighborhood Publix supermarkets. Check out the BOGO deals before you shop, by the way. Expert tip. You can find the weekly ad online at Publix.com or in the Publix app. My favorite experience at Publix are the BOGOs. Free item must be of equal or lesser value, of course. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I got to tell you, things are so dysfunctional these days in Washington, D.C., and it takes a special kind of attitude to cover it the way that I do, or perhaps the way that Eric does, where you have to look at this and you have to just, I look at it as sport. That's what I do. And oftentimes that sport is heartbreaking. Thomas Massie, you know that Representative Thomas Massie, he is a thorn in the side of the Trump administration. Y'all know that. Well, now this is breaking. Apparently he is actually accusing Dan Bongino of threatening a member of his staff with a criminal investigation for not, and I'm quoting, playing ball. This is what Thomas Massie has now come out and said.
Also, I'm going to say this here on camera because it's important. One of Kash Patel's staff threatened my staff with a criminal investigation if we didn't straighten up and play ball.
Wow.
I was going to ask you about that, but since you brought it up, and I didn't
I'm bringing it up.
Okay, you
All
brought
right,
it up.
so he's going to bring it up, and I'll have more of that audio coming up. Those are some very scurrilous accusations, indeed. So we'll have that story for you and a whole lot more straight ahead. My name is Dan Mandis, in for Eric Erickson. Appreciate you listening.
The U.S. is investing up to $1 billion to fight the spread of bird flu.
At the top and bottom of every hour.
Traffic congestion around Metro Atlanta continues to cost commuters.
And when it breaks.
The suspect is in critical condition after being struck multiple times.
Check back 3, 4, 5 times a day for the latest.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
I'm Channel 2's Lori Wilson.
I'm Fred Blankenship. Channel 2 Action News this morning is the best place to be for breaking news.
So much is happening, and we're on it. Our reporters are the first to know in your community, bringing you fresh information, the best video.
We know you depend on us. It's why we're everywhere, live, to prepare you for the day ahead.
In the morning, see what's new.
Don't miss a day. Join us. Channel 2 Action News this morning, 4:30 to 7.
Got a leaky pipe, heating, or cooling issue? Ace Hardware Home Services is around the corner with everything you need to fix it, including the expert to do the fixing. We're not just the helpful hardware folks, we're the helpful home service and repair folks too. From plumbing to heating and cooling, the licensed and insured experts at Ace Hardware Home Services are ready to keep your home running smoothly all year long. Online at aceHardwareHomeservices.com or call 770-233-7787.
News,
weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
At 2 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top local story, a big legal win for President Trump. The prosecutor handling the Georgia election interference case against Trump and others decides not to pursue it any further. WSB senior legal analyst Ron Carlson says he's not surprised by the decision from Pete Skandalakis.
I thought the executive director would give it a thorough and sifting review and then do what occurred here.
Skandalakis, who took over the case last month, made the announcement in a court filing today. He replaced Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis, who was removed from the case due to a conflict of interest. It is 68 degrees in Atlanta. Brace for Arctic air. How low will it go? Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. We are right now in the peak of the holiday travel rush, and some travelers are trying not to stress out.
I just care about getting there safe and sound, and I'm a Marine too, so I go through stressful events all the time.
82 million people nationwide are expected to travel for Thanksgiving. The Georgia DOT says between now and 6 p.m. will be the busiest time on the roads for pre-Thanksgiving travel. A wanted fugitive in Brookhaven is locked up thanks to technology and a talented canine. The suspect was involved in a domestic dispute at a Buford Highway restaurant when police learned he was wanted in Clayton County. Operation Plugged In Camera Network and a drone are utilized to locate the suspect, and then one officer is sent in to help with the arrest.
The individual continued to hide, and then our canine coda was deployed into the woods and immediately came across the suspect where he was apprehended.
22-year-old Antonio Dwayne Bailey faces numerous charges in Clayton County, along with charges now in Brookhaven. For the first time in a decade, an Atlantic hurricane season will end with no direct hits on the U.S. There have been 13 named storms this season, with 5 becoming hurricanes.
4 became major hurricanes. All those are actually reaching Category 4 strength, with 3 Category 5s, the second most on record. So it was kind of an unusual distribution of storms.
Colorado State's Dr. Philip Klotzbach believes the overall numbers were slightly down from average because there was dry air over the Atlantic for most of the season. Restaurants are seeing a spike in reservations for Thanksgiving. OpenTable reports Thanksgiving restaurant reservations are up 13% from last year. The rise comes as grocery prices continue to climb, but still, a holiday meal likely won't be as cheap at a restaurant, since the Bureau of Labor Statistics says restaurant prices are increasing faster than groceries and overall inflation. It is 2:02. This news sponsored by Brett Beckers. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
Hi, I'm Lexi, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. If you're planning to propose this holiday, we're ready to make creating your engagement ring a warm, welcoming experience. At Shane Company, we're all about your style, your budget, your dream engagement ring. Explore the widest selection of diamonds and ring settings ready for you to see in person, or visit us at shaneco.com. You'll have your ring in days, not weeks. Our friendly jewelry consultants don't work on commission. There's never any pressure, just perfect proposals. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
I'm Channel 2's Lori Wilson.
I'm Fred Blankenship. Channel 2 Action News this morning is the best place to be for breaking news.
So much is happening, and we're on it. Our reporters are the first to know in your community, bringing you fresh information, the best video.
We know you depend on us. It's why we're everywhere live to prepare you for the day ahead.
In the morning, see what's new.
Don't miss a day. Join us. Channel 2 Action News this morning, 4:30 to 7.
Hey, it's Eric Erickson here. You've heard me talk about David Nicholas and the team at Nicholas Wealth Management, and I'll tell you what, I'm not just talking about them. I actually am a client. I've got an account with Nicholas Wealth Management. Look, retirement planning today isn't what it used to be. You got to deal with inflation, taxes, market volatility. You can't just hope things work out. You need a real plan. That's why I turned to David Nicholas. David's a weekly guest on Stuart Varney's show on Fox Business. He hosts a 1-hour show every week right here, Saturday at 6 p.m. He and his team focus on helping people get to what they call the sweet spot in retirement, where you have enough income to live comfortably, invest wisely, and enjoy the next chapter of life with confidence. Now, here's the thing. The earlier you start planning, I wish I knew this, the earlier you start planning, the better off you may be. So take the first step today. Call Nicholas Wealth Management. Schedule your free, no-obligation retirement analysis. You'll sit down with an advisor with a fiduciary duty who puts your interests first, reviews your goals, and helps you build a clear plan for retirement, so you can focus on what matters most. Call 678-990-8500. That's 678-990-8500 or nicholaswealth.com. That's NICHOLAS wealth.com to schedule your free analysis today.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies. Eric Erickson is paid $450 a week for his testimonial. No endorsement of Nicholas Wealth Management from Fox or Stuart Varney is stated or implied.
It's 2:05. It's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather on this getaway day in the 24-hour traffic center. Alex Williams.
Hey, good afternoon, Bill. A busy getaway day for sure on the south side. 75 northbound, that's just chock full of volume in both directions between Stockbridge and Locust Grove. Holiday travel there. Better news in the cab. Crash cleared off to the right. All lanes open. 285 westbound, the inner loop before Boulder Crest Road. And just found new trouble in Cobb County. Left lane of the 285 westbound outer loop ramp to I-75 is blocked due to a crash. That's slowing the ride out of Sandy Springs. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Mostly sunny and breezy today, high 65. Wind gusts as high as 25 miles per hour. Frigid for tonight as temperatures fall into the mid-30s.
And we're only expecting a high tomorrow in the upper 40s with breezy conditions. Right now, 66 in Snellville, 67 in Hampton, 63 in Ackworth. More news at 2:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Today on the Eric Erickson Show, he's a 40-year broadcaster, Marconi Award winner, and always in search of the perfect cup of coffee. Filling in for Eric today, Dan Mandis.
And appreciate you listening to the Eric Erickson Show, and I always appreciate the opportunity to fill in. So I'm collecting this audio, the very scurrilous accusations against Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, courtesy of Thomas Massie. Now, I'm again putting all of this together, but this is stunning, if true, and I hope that it's not. The accusation is, and I've got a longer audio bite that I'm going to play, but the accusation from Thomas Massie, of course, you know that he is a representative out of Kentucky. And so the accusation is that Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, that department, that those folks may have threatened Thomas Massie and or some of his staffers with investigations if they didn't, and I'm going to air quote this, play ball. Apparently, they were telling them that listen, if you don't play ball with us, Bongino and Patel, if you don't play ball with us, well, then you can look forward to, I guess, an investigation. They say not only are they trying to snuff out the whistleblower who is feeding Thomas Massie information regarding the January 6th pipe bomb, all that's going on, They are also threatening one of Thomas Massie's staffers with federal charges if they refuse to back off. So there's a number of things going on, and then we're going to get into the audio, but whistleblowers are always supposed to be protected. And so the point that you're going to hear Thomas Massie make is, listen, if they are willing to go after a whistleblower providing information about the January 6th pipe bomb, you remember all that? So just real quick, January 6th, right? There was somebody who had placed a pipe bomb. I think this is the one outside of the DNC in Washington, D.C., I think. And so they've been trying to figure out who this person is that dropped this bomb, this pipe bomb, outside of the DNC offices in D.C. And, I mean, it's been years now since January 6th, obviously. But now word is that may have been somebody from within their own ranks. Hence the conversation about who it was and what is it that Thomas Massie and other whistleblowers are trying to talk about, or trying to let the authorities know that this person was within the FBI. And so maybe this is possibly part of a cover-up. I don't know. But if Thomas Massie is bringing receipts, and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, which is this is the accusation, if Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are trying to get everybody to shut up about it, and if they don't play ball, well, then we're going to come after you. That's some pretty nasty stuff. This is an interview with Thomas Massie. Listen.
Well, actually, before that conversation, there was a second letter from this whistleblower's attorney sent to you and Congressman Loudermilk, saying that they had become aware that the FBI was going to do a mole search and look for this guy.
Yeah, okay. So Bongino did tell me, look, tomorrow we're going to round up everybody that was involved in this investigation. We're going to get them all in a room. We're going to get to the bottom of it. And he didn't say we're trying to find the whistleblower. Mm-hmm. No. But my spidey sense went off, and I almost said to him in that moment, you better not be trying to find the whistleblower.
Right. Because
law protects that individual. But I didn't say it. Okay. Also, I'm going to say this here on camera because it's important.
You can tell that Thomas Massie is deciding whether or not this is something that he wants to say. You can tell he's uneasy. You can tell that he's not certain if he wants to say what it is that he is about to say, but he does.
One of Kash Patel's staff threatened my staff with a criminal investigation if we didn't straighten up and play ball.
I was going to ask you about that, but since you brought it up, and I didn't bring it up. Okay, you brought it up.
And so, like a criminal investigation having nothing to do, he said it was going to be a fraud. We're going to investigate one of your staff for fraud. Right. And he told another one of my staff this. If you guys don't straighten up, if you want to play hardball, if this is how you want to play it or something like that, this member of your staff is going to get criminally investigated for fraud. A very specific threat.
Right.
So you know where this is going, right? I'm going to let the rest of it play because it's a longer clip, and this is so important that it does need the proper context. But you know what this is going to lead to is massive investigations. There has already been some controversies regarding Kash Patel and his girlfriend, who was supposedly getting Secret Service protection, which I guess was not something that they're supposed to do. I guess if your spouse is going to get Secret Service protection, apparently that is allowed, but not a girlfriend. So Patel is already, and there are accusations that we don't know if that is actually something that is actually true, but those are the accusations. Donald Trump has come out and said, no. Kash Patel is doing great. He's doing a great job. That is not a problem. Whatever it is, it's fake news. Donald Trump, fake news. But this thing with Thomas Massey could be serious.
And that had just happened. So I told Bongino, I said, one of your guys is threatening my guys with an FBI investigation if we don't do what you want. And he said, I'll take care of that. I'll take care of that. Because even he understood that was not a good look. It's probably illegal, right? So the fallout of that is...
Hey, you know what's so funny? I'm watching this. Everybody's like shifting in their seats, like, oh, the you-know-what is about to hit the fan. Because these are very serious allegations, if true. And they're allegations, and that Thomas Massey is somebody who has always been a thorn in the side of Donald Trump's administration.
The FBI employee who threatened my staff, I have to tell you all this, by the way, Steve, and I have to tell all the listeners this, because this is the context in which I'm worried for the whistleblower. If they're willing to retaliate against a congressional office, which has speech or debate immunity and a lot of other protections, they may be willing to retaliate against a whistleblower.
Right.
So the person who had made the threat to one of my staff through another staff, he sent a text. I got a copy of the text that said, Massey told Bongino, I have to apologize to you, or I should apologize to you. And then he said, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. He didn't apologize. He was unrepentant, let's say, really. That kind of non-apology.
Right.
And so that's the context in which when Bongino said, I'm going to have a big powwow, I'm pulling everybody in, my spidey sense went off. Well, a few hours later, I get this second disclosure from the whistleblower attorney who says, we think they're going after the whistleblower because they're having this big giant meeting. Well, I had knowledge that a big giant meeting was happening.
Right.
So this comported with, and then I also had knowledge my own staff was being threatened.
Yeah.
So I took the attorney's letter seriously.
All right, so that is Thomas Massey, and that's going to be interesting to see how that whole thing plays out. Donald Trump has called for the primarying of Thomas Massey, just like he did with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Massey has been, again, not to belabor the point, but a thorn in the side of the Trump administration. And these are all accusations, and we don't know what the truth is, but people are now on social media, as they do. Kash Patel and Dan Bongino need to resign immediately. I love how people, and listen, you are either, here's where I'm at on people like Thomas Massey, folks like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I am a Donald Trump supporter, but no one is above reproach. Not Donald Trump, not Thomas Massey, not Marjorie Taylor Greene. In some ways, I consider myself, even though I am a Trump supporter and I voted for him for 6 times, I can call balls and strikes. And that's what I'm doing here, because I don't know what this is. I don't know what the truth is. And you don't either. I hope that this isn't true, because I've always liked Bongino. I've always liked Kash Patel as well. But, and this is where some folks are going to get mad at me, but I'm going to say it. You had Kash Patel, and you had Dan Bongino, and you also had Pam Bondi, right? So the three of them made their living really as commentators. I mean, Bongino, one heck of a talk show host. And I have the utmost respect for Dan Bongino. But, for a long time, their whole thing was Epstein files, Epstein files, Epstein files. And if we were in office, we would get the Epstein files. All of this talking big, right? All of this talking smack showing up on Hannity and all these other shows. You got Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, and just, talking from the sidelines. And then they get put in the game. And they suddenly realize, it's not that easy. It's one thing to talk. It's another thing to get put in the game and having to do the job. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. and tell you that I have not been real happy with Pam Bondi. The whole Epstein thing was absolutely screwed up, shanked. And that did a lot of damage, in my opinion. The whole Epstein fiasco did a lot of damage to the Trump administration amongst conservatives, amongst people that put Donald Trump in office. And I think that does fall on the shoulders of Pam Bondi. Now, as far as Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, we'll have to see where this whole thing goes. But if Thomas Massie is saying this and saying that they are threatening his staffers with federal charges unless they, air quoting, play ball, I hope that's not true. But I'm not going to, as somebody who is a supporter of Donald Trump, I'm not going to automatically say Patel is innocent and Bongino is innocent. I'm not going to say that. I don't know. But I'm also not going to say, as some people are saying on social media, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino need to resign immediately. No, these are all accusations. And when there's an accusation, there has to be a follow-up investigation. That is most certainly what they'll do. By the way, you know who else is not above reproach? Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie is also not above reproach. I would hope, anyway, that we all do agree, whether we're talking about the January 6th pipe bomb, whether we're talking about Epstein or any other case, I hope we do all agree that the whistleblowers, they do have to be protected. We'll have to see where this goes. My name is Dan Mandis, in for Eric Erickson. We'll return next.
Hillsdale College would love to get you to sign up for one of their free courses. They've got 40 to choose from. You go to Eric, E-R-I-C-K, ericforhillsdale.com, and you sign up with Hillsdale College. Now, what are these courses? There are 40 to choose from history and philosophy to political science, literature to economics, math, chemistry, you name it. They're the best faculty at Hillsdale College. They engage you in 30-minute episodes, their lectures, and well, it depends on the number of classes or the number of videos you get based on the class you take. But you learn, and you expand your mind with real education, not indoctrination, and it's good, entertaining stuff for free. Eric, E-R-I-C-K, ericforhillsdale.com. Sign up with Hillsdale College today. Improve your brain and learn a little bit about a topic you're interested in at no charge to you with Hillsdale College at Eric, E-R-I-C-K, ericforhillsdale.com.
You're at the intersection of politics, news, culture, and current events. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
221 Cool Ray Carrier Traffic Center. Better news in Cobb County. Crash cleared out of the left lane of the 285 West outer loop ramp to I-75, exit number 20. Still seeing some brake lights behind it, though, back from Georgia 400 and Sandy Springs. 75 southbound, you're seeing the delays out of Ackworth, just trying to get down into Marietta. Long-standing crash at North Marietta Parkway has cleared. Traffic brought to you by Indeed.com. Stop just hoping the right applicants find your job. Sponsor it on Indeed and match with quality talent. Start at Indeed.com/credit. Again, that's Indeed.com/credit. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This holiday could be 100 times brighter just by listening to 95.5 WSB.
Because we have the WSB Turkey Day Payday.
Listen to 95.5 WSB all Thanksgiving Day, every hour, 9 a.m. through 6 p.m. You could win a $100 Publix gift card.
Listen for the keyword each hour.
You'll have until the end of that hour to enter the keyword at WSBradio.com or on the WSB app. One lucky winner every hour gets a $100 Publix gift card.
The WSB Turkey Day Payday.
From Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Your first chance to win is tomorrow at 9 a.m. on 95.5 WSB.
Beaver Toyota and Beaver Mazda present Atlanta's original Black Friday silent sale. Here's what's up. On Thanksgiving Day, over 800 cars and trucks will be marked with the lowest price we would ever sell them for. This is it. This is the big one. Don't you miss it.
The holidays are almost here. Let Zerorez help get your home looking its best. Hey, it's Patrick, owner of Zerorez. Right now, when you schedule 3 rooms of carpet cleaning at just $45 a room, we'll clean a hallway for only $1 more. Just mention WSB when you book. That's 3 rooms at $45 each and a hallway for just $1. Schedule today at ZerorezAtlanta.com. Zerorez, spell it backwards or forwards, it's the right way to clean.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan today. 404-208-3300. That's 404-208-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
It's my favorite time of year. I love spending time with family, enjoying delicious, nutritious food and bread. That's right, real bread, not the enriched stuff you see on the shelves. This is Sue from Bread Beckers in Woodstock with Sue's Healthy Minute. My family and I were blown away by the health benefits of making real bread from freshly milled whole grains. After more than 30 years in business, we have heard thousands of stories from satisfied customers who found improved health from eating real bread. We invite you to come check out the Bread Becker store in Woodstock this holiday season. We offer a complete line of grains, beans, sweeteners, and more. Our top-of-the-line kitchen equipment or infused oils and vinegars are sure to be the perfect gift for that special someone. Let us teach you how to make your own real bread to improve your family's health. Take that first step to a healthier life. Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. Call A1 Garage Door Service today.
A1 from day one.
Since we have lawyers in all 50 states, I see and hear lots of lawyer ads. It seems that most are bragging on what they got their clients. But be careful. If you heard that someone sold their car for $500,000, you would be impressed. But if you later learned that it was a rare $10 million Ferrari, would you say that person got screwed? And that's before you even know if it's true. Who is fact-checking? And how much went to medical bills and lawyers' fees? If you want to get an idea what your case may be really worth, visit forthepeople.com and go to Settlements and Verdicts. You will see what a law firm like ours is capable of. And fact check for yourself. All that glitters is not gold. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won big, a lot. At Morgan & Morgan, we represent consumers. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
He may not tell you what you want to hear, but he tells you what you need to hear. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
All right, so big news with Donald Trump. I don't know if you heard his joke from yesterday. I love this, though, as he was pardoning the turkeys, and he invoked Joe Biden's auto pen.
Before going any further, I want to make an important announcement because you remember last year, after a thorough and very rigorous investigation by Pam Bondi and all of the people at Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA, the White House Counsel's Office, and the Department of Everything. We have a Department of Everything. You know what that is? I think that's called the White House. Into a terrible situation caused by a man named Sleepy Joe Biden. He used an auto pen last year for the turkey's pardon. So I have the official duty to determine, and I have determined that last year's turkey pardons are totally invalid. As are the pardons of about every other person that was pardoned other than, where's Hunter? No, Hunter's was good. That was the one pardon, Pam, that was good, right? The rest of them are all invalid. I don't know what the hell you're going to do about that, but that's, now we're going to take a little of the joking. That is a mess. But they're hereby null and void. The turkeys known as Peach and Blossom last year have been located and they were on their way to be processed, in other words, to be killed. But I have stopped that journey,
There you go.
and I am officially pardoning them, and they will not be served for Thanksgiving dinner. We saved them in the nick of time. This one has plenty of time, but they were saved in the nick of time.
So that is, Donald Trump, of course, never shy to throw the previous administration under the bus. And if I'm Donald Trump, I'm throwing the previous administration under the bus as well. By the way, there was some controversy. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. And so there seems to be this perpetual question about whether or not Thanksgiving dinner is cheaper this year than last year. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not an economist. I don't play one on the radio. And if I was an economist, I'd be making a lot more money. So the big question is Thanksgiving dinner cheaper this year than it was last year? And there seems to be all of these different ways that economists and companies and stores and organizations tabulate last year versus this year. And so I've seen all of these different studies. Is Thanksgiving dinner cheaper this year than last year? You know what I finally did? Because there was a study that people were quoting last week. I never did it, but a lot of people are asking, which is dinner? Which is cheaper? Biden's Thanksgiving or Donald Trump's? I've got that answer courtesy of Grok coming up next right here on the Eric Erickson Show.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
This might help, young man. This might cure what ails you.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
I run a stupid little radio show. I don't care. Have fun.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
Your friend, Eric Von Hessler, the Common Sense host.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top story. The election interference case against President Trump in Fulton County is dropped. Correspondent Aaron Katersky reports on what happens to the others charged in the case.
There were a handful of guilty pleas at the outset of this case. It appears those will stand, but others who were charged, Mark Meadows, for example, the former chief of staff to the president, they will no longer be charged.
Pete Skandalakis, the executive director of the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia, says today the case would neither serve the citizens of Georgia nor fulfill his statutory obligations. Ahead of the cold blast moving into the metro area, the city of Atlanta is opening up warming centers. They'll open tomorrow at 8 a.m. at Central Park Recreation Center at 400 Merritts Avenue and at the old Adamsville Rec Center on Delmar Lane. Transportation will be provided nightly at 8 p.m. from the Gateway Center. Sellers are pulling listings from the housing market at the fastest pace in nearly a decade. A new Redfin analysis finds nearly 85,000 sellers took their homes off the market in September, which is up 28% from a year earlier. Pope Leo says Americans should focus on gratitude as they celebrate Thanksgiving this year.
First and foremost, the gift of life, the gift of faith, the gift of unity, to encourage all people to try and promote peace and harmony and to give thanks to God for the many gifts we've been given.
For the first time ever, there will be an American Thanksgiving celebration by a pope this year. It is 2:32, and this news is sponsored by FGA Roofing. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
I need your attention, please. This is kind of a big deal. Omaha Steaks is doing one of the best sales I've ever seen them do. You know, I've been a long-time advertiser of theirs. I've been a long-time customer of theirs. I love the New York strips. My wife loves the caramel apple tartlets. I love their Argentinian shrimp. They have incredible seafood selections. They have main courses, sides. They make meal prep. I'm trying to lose weight again. They make it really easy for meal prep. They actually make cooking easy at omahasteaks.com, and they'll save on your budget right now. Listen to this. For their cyber sale, you get 50% off site-wide. You get an extra 20% off select favorites at omahasteaks.com, and then at checkout, use promo code ERIC, E-R-I-C-K. You'll get an extra $35 off. Terms apply. See site for details. That's an incredible value at omahasteaks.com. You can make your friends and family happy with great gifts for Christmas. Who doesn't love steak? Well, the vegans, but I'm sure, they've got some sides there the vegans might like too. Incredible deal. omahasteaks.com. Use Eric as your promo code at checkout.
Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. If you've been in an auto accident, don't wait.
The pain might not show up right away, but the damage can last a lifetime if it's left untreated. Now, our team of doctors at PainFreeAtlanta.com specialize in post-accident chiropractic that gets to the root of the cause, and that helps you heal naturally without relying on painkillers and risky surgery and other procedures. And if your condition requires further medical attention, we work with a trusted network of qualified medical doctors and specialists to ensure that you get the full care that you deserve. Let us guide you through every step of the process, safely, professionally, and with compassion. We can also find honest, qualified legal representation if necessary. Don't fall for scam artists whose only concern is their wallets and not your health. We also document your injuries so that you get the settlement you deserve. Call us at 404-333-7777 to schedule a free consultation or visit painfreeatlanta.com. That's 404-33-47s or visit painfreeatlanta.com.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country, but Congressman Brian Jack is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Congressman Brian Jack at 202-225-5901 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
At 2:34, Alex Williams in the traffic center.
Hey, Bill, still watching some pretty intense volume out there for the day before Thanksgiving through downtown. You jam up 400 south around Lenox Road. The delays stay with you 75-85 south down toward North Avenue where we had some trouble clear, and 75-85 northbound also on the brake lights, University Avenue up past Freedom Parkway. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies, but breezy today as cooler air moves in. Today's high is 65. Lows tonight in the mid-30s. Tomorrow, sunny but cold, high 49. And temperatures in the upper 20s to low 30s by Friday morning.
62 in Woodstock, 67 in Tucker, and in Locust Grove. More news at 3 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Appreciate you listening. Dan Mandis indeed here for Eric Erickson. By the way, do me a favor, and even if it's like a, you know, when we were in high school, you get sympathy dates. I would love a sympathy follow. Follow me on X, follow me on Instagram, and follow me on Facebook. All three at Dan Mandis Show. It is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So the big question is, right? Because everybody's battling over the economy. This is what drives me nuts. It's just like as a talk show host, where everybody's got 5 different ways to measure the economy. You've got core inflation, you've got inflation, you've got real wages, and it doesn't matter, you know, how you decide or do the equations, you know, whether or not the economy is better or worse, how you measure it. It absolutely drives me nuts. So this is another one. By the way, if you look at real wages, I believe that the economy is doing better. So the headline is Thanksgiving dinner cheaper this year than last year? According to Grok, that answer is yes. So if you're a pro-Donald Trump, as I am, then I will say, hey, that's great. Thanksgiving dinner is cheaper this year than it was last year under Joe Biden. So take that, Democrats. According to the most widely cited and comprehensive annual survey by the American Farm Bureau Federation, the cost of a classic Thanksgiving dinner for 10 people is cheaper in 2025 than in 2024. There was it, I can't remember. There was a list that came out, I think it was either last week or the week before, that turned out to be debunked. I don't think this one is debunked. Let's hope not anyway. But anyway, they say that the average Thanksgiving dinner, classic Thanksgiving dinner for 10 people is cheaper in 2025 than in 2024. That is down about 5% overall. They do say this marks the 3rd consecutive year of declines, driven primarily by steep discounts on turkey. However, the picture is mixed, they say. Some side dishes have risen in price due to labor shortages and farm wage increases, and alternative analyses show slight or even higher costs depending on the basket of items tracked. Do you see why I hate doing this? Because I'm going to get through this whole thing and I'm not going to have an answer. as to whether or not Thanksgiving dinner is cheaper this year than it was last year. Now, I can tell you that there's a very easy way to figure this out. All you've got to do, and a while back, I actually told people, you know what you could do? You can go back to your shopping list from like a year ago if you order online. There's a way to do this. You can go back and order the same things that you ordered a year ago from the same store and order today and see if those items are more expensive or less expensive. It's all very simple. But everybody's always, this is what, again, bugs me about the economy, whether it is Scott Bessent talking about the economy, Donald Trump talking about the economy, anti-Donald Trump, haters out there that are talking about the economy, and everybody's going to have their own spin. But this is what they say on Grok. A 16-pound turkey in 2024, the cost was $25.60 under Biden. In 2025, the cost is cheaper at $21.50, 16% lower. As far as stuffing, 2024, $3.50. 2025, under Donald Trump, $3.22, minus 8. Now, sweet potatoes are more expensive under Donald Trump. Under Donald Trump, right now, $2.50. In 2024, $1.82. Rolls and butter, that is down 7%. Peas, frozen peas, those are more expensive, up 17%. And on it goes. But they say that overall, the cost breakdown shows that Thanksgiving is cheaper under Donald Trump than it was under Joe Biden. But again, there's always the disclaimer, it depends on what we're tracking and so on and so forth. And even if it is cheaper, well, then somebody's going to say, well, yeah, but that had nothing to do with Donald Trump. That has nothing to do with Joe Biden. And on it goes. So whatever. Do you know what I always tell people? Because people always want my analysis as far as is the economy better or worse? You know what I always say? I say, you know what? Look at inflation. Look at gasoline prices, and gasoline prices have been going down. And look at your own pocketbook. Look at your own bank account. Is it more expensive when you go to the store? Don't ask me if stuff is cheaper. You tell me. What are you buying? I can tell you the stuff that I buy, depending on what it is. By and large, it feels like you may be different, but it feels like I am paying less for stuff. But all these economists have agendas. I always look at real wages. That's what I've always looked at. I'm not going to look it up now, but I always look at real wages. And the last time I looked, which was about a week ago, real wages were actually up as opposed to down. In other words, better. But you know what's going to happen this Thanksgiving, right? You know what's going to happen. I was talking about this a little bit earlier. You're going to have the fights at the dinner table. You know what's interesting? Because I didn't sense, did you sense this? Have you noticed this? Shoot me a note on X, at Dan Mandis Show, or Facebook. When Joe Biden was in office, and this is just my own personal observations. When Joe Biden was in office, we had the 4 years of Trump, and we had all the drama at Thanksgiving. And then when Joe Biden was in office, was it just me, or did all of that kind of subside? It feels like all of that kind of subsided a little bit, where the people on the left, the family members on the left, they got their way, and Joe Biden was in office, despite the fact that we had rampant illegal immigration, crime in the streets, we had inflation up over 9%, and gasoline was really, really expensive. The left was happy. I've never really understood that, but whatever. And so now that Donald Trump is back in office, here we are once again fretting over the liberal family members that are going to be coming over for Thanksgiving, or you're going over to their homes. And you know, can I just say that I got over my liberal family members a long time ago, mainly because they got over me. my Nashville audience knows this. I'll share this story with you. My mother just recently passed away a couple of years ago, a Donald Trump supporter. And we had a relative. And my mom, 80 years old, and she passed away at the age of 80 years old. And about 2 years before she passed away, maybe about 3 or 4 years before she passed away, I have a cousin and, whatever, a family member. And this cousin, knowing that I apparently am a racist, white supremacist talk show host on the radio, espousing the virtues of conservatism and Donald Trump and strong borders, etc., he decided not only to cut me off and cut my brother off, but also cut off my mother. At 78 years old. And it broke my mother's heart. And so the sad part about all of this, the canceling, if you will, the canceling of, family members, is that, my 78-year-old mother had done nothing but show this family member nothing but love and support for decades. Decades. And all it took was my mom to be a Trump supporter and her son to be a talk radio host espousing the virtues of conservatism. And that's all it took for, this particular family member to completely blow us off. He wasn't shy about calling us, in text message, racist and all of that other nonsense. And don't get me wrong, I could give two craps about what anybody thinks about me. But it broke my mom's heart. And that was really sad. And she died with a broken heart. That is the evil. That is the absolute evil that is out there in America today, people who hate Donald Trump. Now, I'm not going to say that it's only, Trump derangement syndrome that is breaking families apart. No, I do understand that there are Trump supporters who disconnect as well with family members if they perhaps have a liberal family member or they have a more moderate conservative or Republican in the family as well. It does go both ways, and I do understand that. It's just really sad because when Joe Biden was president, I didn't go running around trying to cancel my liberal friends. No, I didn't. They can be wrong, I would think, and they would think that I can be wrong, and we can still talk about, sports or, have good, robust conversations about the news of the day. But I love this. I'm posting this to my social media on my X. Follow me at Dan Mandis Show. This is how to respond to liberal family members this Thanksgiving. Listen.
Here's how to respond to the stupid things that your liberal family members say this Thanksgiving. We really shouldn't celebrate a holiday rooted in colonial violence.
Please.
Well, Thanksgiving isn't a celebration of violence, it's a celebration of gratitude, which has been twisted by activists who need outrage in order to stay relevant. We're not going to rewrite American traditions because a handful of chronically offended people are running out of ways to play the victim. No human being is illegal. We shouldn't even have ICE. It's cruel. No, what's cruel is pretending that a country can survive without enforcing its own laws. Every single nation on earth has borders and immigration rules. The U.S. is no exception. The cost of Thanksgiving dinner this year is so much higher thanks to Trump. You should probably fact check before repeating whatever CNN fed you. Wells Fargo's own analysis shows that the cost of a 10-person Thanksgiving meal is down like 3% from last year, and Walmart's numbers back it up. So yeah, go ahead and thank President Trump for this year's prices.
Well, you know what's interesting too, and I'm curious, and I don't have time to take any calls, but if you've got a persnickety relative who is, like on the left, do you bother to argue at this point? Just do you bother? Because I've got some liberals just that are friends, and we go out, and when they start in, do you know there's actually a part of me that takes sick pleasure in not engaging in their attempts to bait me. If they start in, I'll start watching football. I'll turn on Star Wars, whatever it is, because it's more satisfying to me to irritate the living crap out of them by not engaging and completely ignore their stupid talk on politics than engaging and then end up having a roll thrown at my head.
Well, I have nothing to be thankful for this year because women have fewer rights now than they did a decade ago. Opportunity, education, and economic freedom have never been higher for women in America. Women aren't losing rights. You're just angry that the left can't use abortion as a shield for every political argument anymore. This is why we need socialism. I mean, I wish that Zohran Mamdani were mayor of my town. No, you don't, Becky. I doubt that you could name your current mayor, let alone 3 members of your city council. Socialism destroys every place that it touches, without exception. It doesn't create fairness. It creates equal misery. If you want government control of everything so bad, then you are free to move somewhere that has already tried it and it failed.
You know, I do love that. And I do find it interesting where if people bother to argue with those annoying relatives at this point, because you know you're not going to convince them, right? And they're sure as heck not going to convince you, regardless of where you are on the political scale. If you're a moderate, if you're, far left or far right, nobody's going to convince me otherwise of how I feel at the ripe old age of almost 58. And not only do I not believe that I'm going to be able to convince them the error of their ways, but I don't really care. I'm at the point now where I could really care less about what other people think, especially over turkey and gravy and dressing. So if you want to shoot me a note on X, Facebook, private message, I'm also on Instagram. I'm genuinely curious, Eric Erickson audience, do you bother to fight with relatives if they try to fight with you over politics over the dinner table? We'll return next. This is the Eric Erickson Show.
There's a lot of chatter about what the Federal Reserve is going to do on interest rates. They're still high. Maybe they come down. Gold prices are soaring. Banks, particularly at the regional level, are a little bit unstable. And Swiss America has been sounding the alarm about a secret war on cash. An all-out assault on our freedom. With interest rates the way they are and bank stability in question, Swiss America can educate you on ways to protect your hard-earned assets right now. Go read their report, The Secret War on Cash. It is completely free. You can call or text 800-289-2646. 800-289-2646. Just mention Eric. If you text ERICK to 800-289-2646 or go to SwissAmerica.com/Eric. SwissAmerica.com/ERICK. All you got to do is mention my name. Call them or text them, 800-289-2646. Just mention Eric, ERICK. Message and data rates may apply. Just go talk to Swiss America today.
Follow Eric on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Search EW Erickson.
251 Cool Day Carrier Traffic Center. New travel advisory up into Kennesaw. It's a crash, 575 northbound, just north of Barrett Parkway, exit number 1. It is knocking out the left lane. You can use Highway 5 or the express lanes with the Peach Pass. Also got a crash, 285 southbound, the outer loop over on the west side, just past Langford Parkway. That's in a right lane. And WSB's own Stephanie Stallworth spots a crash out toward Conyers, 20 eastbound near West Avenue. You're on and off the brakes the whole way out toward Conyers as you leave 285. Traffic brought to you by Total Joint Specialists. Is hip or knee pain slowing you down? Find relief with internationally renowned hip and knee care right here in Georgia. Visit TotalJointSpecialist.com today and get back to doing what you love. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Get the WSB Radio app.
This story is breaking right now.
Get notifications from your source for news.
If you have the WSB Radio app, then you saw the breaking news. Get the WSB Radio app.
Don't miss a thing with the WSB app.
Download it from the App Store today.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers with my dad, Mike, who doesn't know that I did something crazy.
Oh, no. What now?
I took some of my favorite pieces of jewelry, I packed them up, ready to go in D. Geller & Son blue boxes, and I tagged them at 60% off.
Did what?
I'm calling it Blue Box Friday. Skip the mall stampede. Come get one-of-a-kind jewelry for 60% off.
Well, if we're doing it, let's go all in. Run it all weekend.
This weekend, Friday through Sunday at D. Geller & Son in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
I used to feel like my house was the least festive on the street, but not anymore. I'm Chris Chandler, and Wise Guys installed the holiday lights on my home. They make it simple. You get a quote right on the first call, and they can be installed as soon as this week. And if the lights ever need a quick service, they're out fast, usually the same day. Wise Guys handles everything: custom fit, maintenance, takedown, even the storage, all done for you. Now, when I booked, their schedule was filling up. Barely got a spot. So lock in your installation and save $100 when you mention my name, Chris Chandler, if you book before December 14th. Just visit wiseguyslights.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the cost of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless. Because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
On the go, take Eric's podcasts with you. Available wherever you stream your favorite podcast. Search Eric Erickson.
So, very quickly, a couple of things. I asked a question, and some people did find me on X. Thank you very much, sending me some private messages. If you're a conservative, if you're a liberal, it doesn't matter. Do you bother at this point to argue politics to try to convince the other side at the Thanksgiving dinner table? I'm very surprised, and I'm glad to hear that I heard from several of you, nope, you don't take the bait. And I think that's the way that it should be. And I'm conservative, so I'm going to say this, and some of you folks on the other side may start to eye roll, and that's all fine, well, and good. But I think that conservatives are far better at, holding our tongue, biting our lip, and just not engaging. I think we are better than folks on the left. And now we do have some serious business to attend to. Breaking news out of Washington, D.C. Apparently, the Fox News, Associated Press, other media outlets are reporting in the last couple of minutes that there have been at least 2 National Guard troops have been shot. A shooter is still on the loose in Washington, D.C., close to the White House. And so we are monitoring those developments. We don't know. They're saying that the scene is very chaotic right now with, again, 2 members of the National Guard shot near the White House. We don't know the condition of either one of these 2. You know what's going on in Washington, D.C.? with the federal troops and the National Guard. They are there trying to, and they have been doing a great job of stopping crime. And so we don't know if this was a targeted attack. We don't know if this was, a drive-by gone awry. We see those things happen all of the time. And so your local stations will, of course, keep you updated on that, or the network news at the top of the hour. But again, prayers for those two National Guard members, at least two National Guard members reportedly shot near the White House. The shooter apparently is still on the loose. And with that, I will let you know that my name is Dan Mandis. You can follow me on the socials at Dan Mandis Show on Twitter and also X, Facebook, and also Instagram. Appreciate you listening to The Eric Erickson Show.
In Atlanta, there is always something happening.
Tanker truck crashed into the median.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
No traffic getting through in either direction.
Helping you on your commute.
Avoid the area at all costs. Take Highway 155 or Highway 4223.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. WSB consumer expert Clark Howard.
It's logical, if you live in a low-lying region on the coast, that you're going to face a danger of flooding. And your homeowner's insurance doesn't cover that. You have to buy at floodsmart.gov a separate federal flood insurance policy. But what's changed is that because of development patterns in the interior of the U.S. and in big metro areas, so many trees have come down, so much asphalt and concrete poured, that the flood risk in low-lying areas in major metros has gone way up. And a lot of us who don't think of us being at flood risk at our homes really need to take a close look. Are we the low point of an area? Are we the low point of a neighborhood? If so, you need to check out floodsmart.gov. I'm Clark Howard.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 3 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top local story. It's the end of the line for the Trump election interference case in Fulton County. The case against President Trump and his co-defendants is dismissed. We have new reaction this hour from a legal expert.
The decision comes after a review of the evidence by the executive director of the Prosecuting Attorneys Council. In a court filing, Pete Scandalakis says the case presented concerns about the First Amendment and would have dragged on for years at a great cost of time and resources. Emory University law professor Dr. John Acevedo says
it is not completely surprising. It was always going to be a very difficult case to try.
He says racketeering cases present unique challenges, and with so many defendants, it would have demanded even more work moving forward. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
67 degrees in Atlanta.